Stuart Monroe in the house. John 2000. What is up, guys? What is up? All right. The stragglers are coming in. You know how we do. We just break it upon them. I do want to be talking about Sinners. I want to talk about if the audio is sounding okay. I noticed last week it was a little crunchy. We don't want crunchy. We want crispy. Let's see if we can get crispy going on. Let me know in the chat if you've seen Sinners. We just saw it yesterday. I'm bummed out. I missed it on IMAX, but at least we got to see it in the theater. So it kind of counts, right? What's up, Bill Kajua? Bill Kajua's in the house. If you have not seen this film, I highly recommend. We are going to be talking about this tonight. Specifically about one scene. We won't do spoilers. It will not be a spoiler, so don't get upset. But I do want to talk about one scene that is rocking the internet already by chance. Audio is good tonight. Thank you, John. I'll wait because, you know, I kind of do just drop these streams. I want to wait a little bit before we get down it, but for right now, for those of you in here, thank you guys so much. Be sure you hit the like button. That helps people find it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Can we talk about that scene from Sinners? There's Reddits. There's this thing from Screen Rant. Sinners Club Juke One Shot is now my candidate for the coolest movie scene of the year so far. And I would say not just of this year so far, but arguably of the last decade. I mean, there's one particular one-shot scene that is just insane. If you have seen the film, I don't think it's that big of, I don't think it's a spoiler at all to talk about this particular scene. And honestly, I think it puts Babylon to shame, because I did think, if you guys have seen Babylon, let me know in the chat if you've seen Babylon or if you have seen Sinners yet. But in particular, they do this one massive epic oneer in the barn, the juke club of Sinners, and it just reminded me of that epic like oneer shot in Babylon that they did with the elephants and shit. And honestly, guys, the Sinners one just puts it to shame. And it's really crazy because look at the budget on Babylon. Look at this budget, guys. Their budget was $80 million. By the way, notice how much this movie lost. They never recouped anything on this Babylon movie. Opening weekend was only $3.6 million. It cost $80 million to make that thing. And then if you look at the budget of Sinners, Sinners was $90 million. What? It was more? Sinners cost more than Babylon? By $10 million? It did not appear to be a movie that had that large of a budget. I am honestly appalled that Sinners' budget was this high. How could you have now I'm going to roast them a little bit. How the fuck can you have a $90 million budget and have so much fake ass CGI cotton fields? Wow, that's crazy to me. I wasn't expecting Sinners to have a bigger budget than Babylon. That blows my mind. I am appalled by that. And honestly, now, man, honestly, guys, they should be a little ashamed that they had that much money on this movie. I'm just going to say that right now. I do still love it, though. I do love Sinners. Yeah, let me know if you're in the chat and you were appalled by the fact that Sinners' budget blew past the Babylon budget. That is insane to me. Holy shit, I cannot believe that. What is the deal, Chad? Has no one seen either of these films? You don't have anything to say about it? I know that we have a really low audience right now, but I have faith. Everybody comes rolling in here, and the numbers usually get pretty decent from my little channel, so I'm going to give them some time. But also, I have a surprise for you guys, because for all of my Minolta fans out there, I have a bit of a surprise, because, you know, guys, my Minoltas are sadly gone because of things that went down. We'll go main webcam here real quick. I had to get rid of my Minolta Rokkors. Sadly, I only have like a couple left. And this was a long ago. They've been gone. So this isn't anything new. It's just I haven't really, you know, told the internet that I got rid of my massive collection. But however, I did keep the tests. So I have like this massive, yeah, and we will have to open these in Resolve, because this was still back when I had the Komodo. As you'll notice, this is all R3D here, these Minolta tests. Oh, sorry, let me click to screen share. These are all red code raw files, as you can see. But there is some stragglers here that were captured on, I believe, the A7S3. So we have A7S3 files. These were some of the later ones. It's literally every single focal length of the Minoltas here in these Minolta tests. And I thought that would be kind of fun and to look at that. I really, Trevor brought it up last week. Yo, what's up, Jason? Trevor brought it up last week. We were talking so much about so many random movies, and we were going to try to watch a movie together and maybe roast it. I don't know, maybe praise it. But what I realized is I don't know how to do that. I was thinking I could rent one and then we could watch it and just like kind of have our own version. We could have our Dog Times version of Mystery Theater 3000. But Trevor didn't email me all week, so maybe he'll jump in here. But he was supposed to let me know how the Twitch guys do it. I have no clue how they do it because my idea, it didn't work as soon as I can't open the video at all once somehow the Mac knows that I'm hooked up to my OBS streaming service, and like there's a wall there that I can't break through. So luckily we do have these Minolta Rokkor tests instead. But before we get to that, before we get to all of that, I do want us to just back up a little bit. Oh, did I lose all my tabs? No, here it is. Because look, guys, if you have not seen this movie yet, it is pretty insane. And the one scene in particular, the internet is really, they are somewhat losing their mind a little bit about this. And as you can see, it is in particular this one crazy shot. It's like a one-er shot that it's really worth it just to go watch the movie. And I know, like, you look like if you're someone like me, or Marianne, we see a movie, and if it's like 2 hours or longer, we're usually like, no, we can't go sit in the theater that long. And a lot of times we're right? A lot of times it's not worth it. This movie in particular, I believe the runtime is 2 hours and 47 minutes. However, it flies by. It literally flies by. And I think that's a huge testament to the pacing, the performances, the directing, the production, like everything, right? But in particular, I think it's worth it, like regardless of how you feel about anything to do with the movie. I think that it's worth it just to see it in the theaters if it's still in the theaters near you, because I think it's definitely no longer playing IMAX, unfortunately. I don't know why they shortened the IMAX run so hard when the freaking budget was $90 million and they had like a limited run of IMAX time, which seems a little crazy to me. But it's definitely worth it just to see this one-er shot in the bar. I can't really find, because the movie's still in the theaters. So, and I'm not the kind of guy to like rip a torrent of it because I haven't used LimeWire since I was in high school. So, but it is worth it just to go see it because it's a massive one-er shot while they're performing in this juke joint in this barn, and they literally change eras. All in one take. They change eras, they change choreography, they change performances, they change costumes. It is so insane, and it blows anything away that Babylon ever dreamed of doing in this fucking shit show of a movie. I'm sorry if you were a fan of this, but this was not quite... I feel like whatever they were trying to do with Babylon, it just missed the mark. Whereas the crazy ass one-er in this Sinner, and that was the first thing I thought of when this one-er started happening in the Sinners Club. I immediately thought of Babylon because the camera literally goes up and over and looks down on the crowd, like it does almost the same beginning movement that happens in Babylon. And I think that's why my brain immediately went to Babylon, and then like so much happened. It was emotional watching what was happening on the screen during this crazy one-er shot in Sinners. And I thought, wow, this is like something I've never seen before. It is so worth it to just go watch it. I'm not going to say any more about it other than that. Like, It's phenomenal. That one scene in particular is so insane, and you'll know it when you see it. You'll just know it. You'll be like, oh, this is what the fucking crackhead on YouTube was talking about. Although I don't smoke crack, but I know some people have called me that. but it is man, it is stellar. And you know what's amazing about Ryan Coogler, who is the director of Sinners? He's the director-writer. Sure, you know of him. He did the Black Panther movies. But do you know that him and Michael B. Jordan, they go way, way back, guys. They go way, way back. And it made me think about Fruitvale Station. I don't know, show some hands in the chat, because we're being very quiet tonight. We must have all, you know, something bad must have happened this weekend I don't know about. But let me know if you've seen Fruitvale Station, because if you haven't, I believe this is the first time that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan worked together. I could be wrong about that, but this is a fairly old movie. You'll see the date on this is 2013, and this is actually biographical. This is actually based on a true story. Fruitvale Station is a notorious train station, I believe in Oakland, and it's just, man, this movie is phenomenal. This was actually the one that I really wanted us to try to watch, and there wouldn't be a whole lot of roasting in this film because it is super emotional, so we probably wouldn't watch this together. We actually would probably watch what we talked about last week, which is Spun, which is just an insane movie about meth heads, but it has the Guinness World Record for most cuts in the edit, which is, they have like over 5,000 cuts. But anyways, this movie, maybe see this after you see Sinners if you have not seen Fruitvale Station. It's shot like a Sean Baker film too. You know, it really is. It's ultra low budget. As you'll notice, this budget is only 900 grand. Actually, I'm actually also surprised by that. 900,000 is way more than I thought that would say. I wonder how many of these guys, oh, look who's attached. Rachel Morrison was the DP of this. Guys, do you know who Rachel Morrison is? Look at, she also did Black Panther. So you notice this kind of pattern here. These DPs hook up with the same people. I'm sorry, the director. You know, he's worked with Rachel Morrison all this time. He's worked with Michael B. Jordan for a very long time, right? Like, so this is why it's so important to kind of, as you are out there in your freelance world, whatever you do as a cinematographer, videographer, maybe you're just a photographer, whatever you do. But there are some producers and directors out there that if you jive well with, you might want to, you know, keep that connection open. Because, you know, it's just examples of this that I see time and time again. And this Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan relationship, and, you know, Rachel Morrison as well, is a prime example of that, you just never know. Anyways, so yeah, I can't find a clip of it, of what, you know, the reference of this. You'll just have to watch the movie. It's probably better. You need to see the movie anyways. And you'll notice, yeah, don't read this. There's apparently spoilers in that, but I just brought that up because it's everywhere. You know, that Babylon thing was just brought up for reference, but yeah, everyone's talking about this particular scene. Well worth it. Well worth it. A pretty insane movie overall. Now, if I don't know, we might get some people jumping into, I guess nobody has seen it. Anyways, let's talk about the next big thing on the table, because I noticed this, because this was brought up in a Facebook group I was in, and this is about, what up, Jason? For sure, I like working with the same people I click with. It's comforting going into the next project as well. 100%. 100%. You know, you make those connections, and it's not, yeah, you learn how certain people work. You learn, you know, their kind of idiosyncrasies, I think. You know, you learn different things, and also, yeah, you really, it's like any other kind of working relationship, you know. It takes out all the awkwardness the second time around, certainly by like the fifth time around. You know, there's no more weirdness, and it really becomes like a family. You know, that's why guys like Danny McBride with his whole team on Righteous Gemstones, you know, he's been working with the same people, a lot of the same crews since like the baseball show that he used to do, and even when Danny McBride left LA to go out to Charleston, he took like so many people with him not just crew members, but actors as well. And so it's just a testament, you know, you get into these little, you really do form your own little clique, you know, so many, you know, Wes Anderson does it, Tarantino to some extent even. I mean, Tarantino has had Sam Jackson in his movies since the beginning. So, you know, it's just one of those things. And, you know, does that tie into some form of nepotism? Maybe, but it's also just true that, you know, it's who you know, that has never gone away and changed in this industry. It's always been about that. Anyways, I wanted to talk about this weird thing that someone brought to my attention that, oh yeah, we're going to talk about a couple of weird things. But the first one is this new system, this new pay-to-play system. I don't know if it's pay-to-play, but it's this weird thing that's left a lot of a bad taste in people's mouths about the new American Society of Cinematographers subscription model. And I just would maybe, you know, since this is primarily a cinematography channel, we could kind of talk about this a little bit because it is interesting. And it's so funny that it's like this new subscription tier base. So there's different tiers. And a lot of them were kind of like giving them shit because they chose to call it ASC Plus, you know, and everything else that is subscription model, really just with streamers seem to be adding that plus logo to all of their things, you know, their services like Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, you know, it's all, so they are getting a little bit of razz for this, but it is funny too that it comes on like the heels of the latest Black Mirror episode, that there is a Black Mirror episode of the newest season of Black Mirror that, it has a whole episode about this like subscription-based system. They kind of, you know, spin it on its head, much like Black Mirror fashion. Anyways, so this is a weird thing. I'm going to scroll down here and show you what it is. So look, so there's a storyteller option for $149 a year, right? Or there's this visionary option for only $299 a year. And I guess, you know, at first this really wasn't that big of a thing to me. I was like, well, you know, it kind of makes sense. They're a very small little club. They got to figure out how they can thrive in, you know, this era. Because, you know, they already give, you know, I have access to their entire digital archive and I get their monthly digital magazine every month. And it's very, very cheap. It's very, very cheap for that. And that's kind of all I've ever really cared about. They do have a YouTube channel too, I believe. And this is the weird thing that struck me because, you know, they'll notice like what's included with these options is this ASC Insights, the Clubhouse Conversations Archive, this American Cinematographer Digital Archive. And it's like, well, first of all, the ASC Digital Archive, like when I read that, I'm like, damn, is that going away for people that just pay for a normal magazine subscription? Because that would be really shitty if that goes away for all of us that have been, like someone like me that's been subscribed for years. That would be a disservice, I think, if that were to see that go away and now you have to pay $150 to get that back. Granted, you would get all this other stuff, but do we want all this other stuff? And then I saw this part that says Clubhouse Conversations Archive. The interesting thing about the Clubhouse Conversations is that was already available, was available on their YouTube page, right? Now, I don't mean to be talking shit about, you know, an organization that most of us would probably kill to be a part of, but at the same time, I think I mean, I don't, like, this is what happened with my freelance, my filmmaker versus YouTuber video, right? Like people... you know, again, I guess I'm really, I always seem to be the guy that says trigger words that causes people to lose their minds, right? And it's like, I'm not meaning to like start fires here. I'm not meaning to destroy someone's whole world. You know, I just think, like, why can't we have open conversations about normal shit in our community, you know? And a lot of people are too delicate to do that. And I think it's because they're afraid of like, oh, we don't want to, you know, say the wrong thing about these people that I guess most people are intimidated by or some shit. Like, but me, I'm like, I don't really care. Like, first of all, no, I don't think anyone in the ASC would be intimidated by anything that we talk about them. But also, you know, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you have, you know, this is the thing. These guys have been in the industry for fucking decades, longer than any of us have been alive. So if anyone has a backbone to deal with, criticism, it's people that work in the industry. I think that was the biggest thing why I was so appalled by the way that people responded to my YouTuber versus filmmaker video. And I think it's funny because it kind of tied in perfectly with that video, because it like proved my point. So all these people that were all up in arms about the weird, the quote unquote horrible things I was saying, or quote unquote exposing about them. The funny thing is like, well, if you actually did work in the film industry, I think you would have a bigger backbone than that, So it kind of proved me right in a way that they reacted the way they did. And Shane Hurlbut was one of the people that reacted kind of shittily too, no doubt. You can go read the comments on that video yourself. So, if anybody in the ASC has a problem with this, I would say the same thing to them. How long have you been in the industry? I think you can handle a little bit of criticism. And this is at a time when I'm not the only one saying this stuff. This is in a group of people that has 56 comments on it. So people are already talking about this. People are already dragging them. People that are way bigger in the industry than little old me. So no, I don't think anyone needs to be scared or intimidated or anything to talk about anything like this. Because it's just the reality of it. So anyways, you see this Clubhouse Conversations archive, and then the first thing I thought of was like, well, they used to show that stuff. They used to show those videos on somewhere online. I mean, look how small their archive is now on their YouTube channel. Did they take them down? Someone did bring that up, that probably they would take them down, or was it never on their YouTube channel and was it only on their website? And that's how I knew about, well, look, here's one right here, right? So like, it is odd that now their video archive is very, very small on their YouTube channel. Either way, I don't know. I just thought this was an interesting thing. And it's like a lot of people are not happy about this, but you can see Tim in here is saying it's a rebrand of the Friends of the ASC subscription program. Not a big deal. There are 100 years of archival materials to digitize, edit, finish, and host online somewhere. How else will they pay for it? And that is a really... that is the best argument right there for it. And that's what I was kind of saying earlier, like they're not like this huge organization. They're a very small club, and they got to figure out how to maintain that. I don't know how it works, the club. I don't know if you have to pay a fee. I don't know if they have dues. I don't know if it's like an actual union thing. But they have a very nice building in Hollywood, and I'm sure it costs money to keep that building going. But you can see then the flip side of the argument is this thing like, oof, feels kind of icky, grabby, and kind of off-brand to their mission of inclusion and education, right? Like financial ability is now a prerequisite for access, oof. And yeah, the plus branding is not great. It implies that if there are now some select plus members, there are also now many of us minuses in the ASC audience. So interesting conversation already happening around it. I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up here and to see what people think about that. What up, Decoded Memories? Fruitvale Station was fire. Yes, it was. 100%. Fruitvale Station was 100% fire. I was really hoping that we would be able to, maybe if Trevor does happen to pop in here tonight, we can, he can maybe not tonight to get it going for a live viewing, but eventually at some point on these streams, we will be doing live viewings, and some may be roasting, some may be just stop and go, just talking about cinematography, whatever hits our minds. But that will be the future of these lives eventually. But those two topics, I definitely want to start off with the Sinners thing, the ASC thing. And I guess, yeah, if you guys don't have anything to say about any of that, then we will jump into looking at the Minolta Rokkor footage, and hopefully the live doesn't crash when I open up Resolve. Here goes Jason Morbies. I like how one YouTuber got all bent out of shape who constantly claims they don't care what other people think. Your video is actually praising them where it deserved, but also being honest. Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that, Jason. And yeah, that's really what it is. And the funny thing to me about that, I don't really want this to turn into that, but the funny thing to me about it is that, it really showed the alliance that other YouTubers have with that individual. And all of those came out in the dogfight as well. And I thought, wow, these people, okay, this is, it just, I don't know. I already knew that shit, I already knew the jerk off circles that were going on, but at the same time, it like solidified it for me. And I think that is a lot of the reason why, I'm kind of moving the way I do things here on my channel, because I see that group of people. I guess I can go to big screen now. So what I'm meaning to say here is like, you know, it's like I don't want to be in that peer circle, if that makes sense, right? So for me, it's like, yeah, and it is hard, and just like I said in that video, it is hard to maintain this YouTuber, full-time YouTuber status without you know, having to have some companies in your pockets. And that's fine. I mean, ever since all that drama happened, I've had Skillshare sponsor 3 videos of mine. I've had Corebag sponsor a couple videos of mine. I've still done reviews for like Hollyland and other companies. So it didn't really hurt that too much. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I've entered this new kind of chapter, I think, where I really want to, you know, kind of, I'm learning how to separate myself from the swarm, if that makes sense, right? And that video certainly, you know, drew the line in the sand, if you will. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, you know, we know who's on that side, we know who's on this side, and I don't mean for that to happen, right? That was not the whole reason behind that. It wasn't like me going, yeah, let's start a fucking war, man. No, that's never my, like, and my Patreon knows this better than anyone. I am a philosophizer. If I'm anything, if I am guilty of anything, it would be a philosophizer with a degree of anarchy, right? Like, you know, there is a little bit of rebellionism there, but that's just because of my past, my childhood, and all the things that deal with that. And growing up skateboarding, skateboarders are natural rebellious people, right? We're just rebellious by nature. I mean, you have to be in order just to skate certain places. You know, you get to fight with police a lot. You guys, and if you skated out there, you know what I'm talking about. So you become a certain kind of person. And on top of all of that, I started acting when I was a teenager. So I built a certain kind of resilience to the industry because of that too. And just being an actor for that long made me despise certain kind of entities, right? And you know, and I had a lot of weird run-ins with, you know, producers that weren't really real producers. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, like, so what I mean is I can smell the bullshit a mile away, right? And so like those people, I already knew that. Right? I already knew that. So I guess it was a little bit kind of, I guess it was a little bit combative of me to do the video in the first place because I knew already what I was doing, right? But what I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know the type of worms that would come out of the box, right? So let's just say I was playing with fire at the time that I put the video out. So when the video does, then the video goes out, and then we all know. Now we all know. And we go, okay, now all the worms are out of the box, and they're all out, right? And maybe you guys don't know the extent of it because, you know, you don't have the comments getting notified in your YouTube studio because it wasn't your YouTube video, right? So, but I'm getting hit with all the comments. Not anymore, obviously. This was back in November. But yeah, a lot of people came out with the wolves. And it was just really good to see, like, okay, now I know. And yeah, so, you know, that's kind of the whole MO with the live streams. The whole reason I started the live streams because I wanted people to see, like, okay, who am I? Who is Justin Phillip really? And I think that you guys that join these live streams, you get to see that. You know, we've been doing it for a long time. This is the smallest crowd we've had yet, I think, but that's okay. You know, not every live stream we do is going to be a you know, 40 people in here. But either way, yeah, I think you guys are getting to see like the kind of, you know, I'm a jokester. I'm a little, I don't really, you know, I speak my mind and whatever. It's so much far beyond the personality that you get in my videos. Because there is a little bit of acting to those videos. You know, there's some have straight up scripts that I memorize. Some don't. Sometimes I go off the cuff. But either way, it's not just me just riffing, you know. And I think the only way you get to really know someone is when they are just kind of riffing like that. What up, Nick? He says, the lighting and color on your camera is amazing. Oh, cool. Thank you. You know what this is? This is a Sony film simulation is what it is. It is the Sony film simulation for classic Chrome. And yeah, man, it's I did a whole video on the Sony film sims. If you want to check it out, I'll navigate here to my channel real quick and you can check it out real quick. Let me see. I'll go here and we'll go to my channel. Let me make sure we'll go to here. And I just want to show you the video it was in case you're curious. There's a guy that does it. But if you watch the video, you'll get a discount because he'll sell you the whole package. This right here, it's this one right here, Sony Film Simulations. That's what it looks like. Me, goofy faces, red Mustang in the background. 2 years ago, we did that video. Yeah. But he updates it nonstop. But yeah, so this is the one for classic Chrome. Yeah, kind of interesting, right? Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Thank you, though. Yeah, bet. 100%. Yeah, anyways. Well, what should we do? Should we pop open the Resolve and take a look at the Minolta Rokkors? How many of you in here were a fan of the Minolta Rokkor videos? Someone just hit me up, looking for the 58 1.2. I had 2 different versions of that. They're both gone now. Yeah, I know. It's a bummer. But what we can do is I kept all the tests. I never did anything with them. It's funny because I was keeping these tests and I was going, you know what? I'm going to do a video on these tests. And then I never did. I never put the video out. And I don't know why. I can't tell you why. It just never happened. But I thought, well, maybe we can just look at the tests. It's all of them. I had all of them. I had all of them from the 16 mil all the way to the 135. So I had like a lot of Minolta lenses. I had a big Pelican full of them. And you say, why? Why were you doing that? Well, it was because I had a dream of rehousing them, and it just never happened, man. We never got around to it. We'll call this the Rokkor files here and create this. Sorry, I'm just on the other page here. I'm going to bring Resolve over in a hot minute here. Here we go. We'll bring that over there. We'll make sure that we have that like that. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Oh, nope, I still have it on dual screen. Give me 1 second here. I want to turn that off. Okay, it's in here in the G drive. Now, it is on it's not on an SSD. These are backed up to an archive, so it may lag a little bit because of, well, a lot of stuff. We're live streaming, but we are also, pulling our 3D file. Oh, this is not all of them. What a bummer. This is only a very small number. This is definitely not all of them, but at least we'll be able to look at a few. And one interesting thing you'll be able to tell from this is that they are all, there are a couple, specifically the 21 mil that I could not get it to match. Okay, so here you'll notice we have okay, let me turn the effects off. So we have the 28 mil here. We have the 16 mil. Oh yeah, and here's the 21 mil, but this is not what I was looking for. This is actually one of the really old tests. Oh man, I'm so bummed out right now. Oh, I was comparing it to the Zeiss Milvis 18 mil. This is weird because these 3 are from a different set of tests. These are the ones I was actually looking for. I was looking for these 3 right here. So this is the 85 mil. Oh, I know what these are. Okay, so this was a video I was going to do. This is probably pretty good, actually. This was something I was going to do to demonstrate the importance of talking about the differences between wide focal lengths changing drastically by every millimeter versus longer focal lengths, which don't really change that much, right? Like these just look like punch-ins, like just cropping in. You're going from an 85 to a hundo to a 135. And nothing is really changing in my opinion. Whereas I mean, obviously we know that it's getting, we know the physics of what's going on. But what I'm saying is it's not changing the face drastically, like to the point where this 28 in comparison to this 16 in comparison to this 21, right? It's not the same effect. And the thing is where I know for a lot of you, you're like, yeah, no shit. But for a lot of people, they don't realize, oh, the 58 is on this. A lot of people don't realize that when you're talking about anything 35 and under, so from 0 millimeters to 35 millimeters, every millimeter is a drastic difference in how the frame is going to look. It's a big, big difference. And it's a much more noticeable difference than, say, going from an 85 to a hundo. It's really like, this is really not that different in my opinion, right? So we have this 85 here. Let's do this. I'm going to select all these and we're going to drop these in and we're going to pull it over to the color page real quick. Just so I can have a better thing to show this to you guys. You know what else too? Well, we'll worry about putting a look on it in a minute, but for now we'll just look at the clips. Okay. So this way I just want to do it like this so I can bounce back and forth easily, right? So first of all, that 16 is insane, right? but it was a fisheye. It's a fisheye, right? But regardless of that, right? Even if you're not looking at the fisheye, just look at the 21, you know, versus the 28, you know, versus now the bummer part. Now this is why I'm bummed out about this. This was on the Komodo. So this is Super 35, which isn't fair. It's not fair for the video. And that's probably why I never put the video out. But I did do the comparison on the A7S III, which is full frame, and I don't know what happened to it. So you would, you know, and the reason why I say it's not fair, and for those of you that know, you already know what I'm going to say, it's because, well, the Super 35 is already cropping in on the full frame lens, so it's taking care of the differences for us, really. And that's why this isn't really a fair comparison here for what I'm talking about. Because if you could see the full frame image, it is drastically different, right? Whereas these longer ones, I did do these on the A7S III, right? So that's probably why I never did the video, because they, you know, it wouldn't have been a very fair comparison. But either way, you know, either way, like the point still stands, right? The point still stands. But you'll notice this 24 on Super 35, like that is not what a 24 looks like on full frame. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. And a lot of this is another reason why I don't miss shooting on the Komodo, because of that Super 35 crop. It really kind of hurts you sometimes. And definitely when you talk about when you have to jump to higher frame rates on that Komodo, it starts hurting you even more, because every frame rate you want to jump up, it crops in on your thing, and before you know it, your 24 mil is now a fucking 75 mil. You know what I mean? You're like, what happened? You know, and not actually physically changing into a 75 mil. It's just cropping in on it like it's a fucking Leica Q2 camera or something. You know what I mean? It's like, this isn't what we want to do here. But let me throw a quick grade on these real quick. So we can get a better look at what we're doing. And just for the sake of time, actually what I'll do is, oh wait, do these have a look baked in? No, they kind of look like they have a, is it just me or do they look like they have a look baked in already? Let me see. Let me do color management first. Let me change all this real quick. So I always go Davinci Wide Gamma Intermediate, output color space. This will blow your mind. Rec 709A, because that's actually the color space for YouTube, Rec 709A. I do make broadcast safe and save. Okay, so I don't know. I'm going to throw a LUT on this real quick. And I'm only doing a LUT because for sake of time here. I'm only doing the LUT for sake of time, so don't get it twisted. And what I like to use is the Komodo to Alexa. And these are made by Juan Malara. Komodo to Alexa. Damn, I don't know if I have the right one in here though. Let me see. Komodo to Alexa, in camera and onset LUTs, post-production. Here we go. Komodo to Alexa Rec 709. There we go. So I might just like throw that on every shot. Jason, did you get a special kind of mannequin for lighting? I've thought about getting one, but not just any kind. Yeah, it is a little difficult because they're rubber, right? So, you know, the one that I ended up getting was just like one that they make for hairdressers, which doesn't really change anything for us, right? The face isn't like it was like a squeezable rubber, so I could like push her fit, you know what I mean? So I think that made a difference. You know, if you just get like a normal like store mannequin, it's going to be like hard and glossy, and that definitely will not be ideal. So this is better than that. It's rubber. But yeah, I don't know if you get anything better than rubber. You know, I don't know. That's what I would say about it. Anyways, so let me just transfer this LUT over to all of these here, and we'll just throw this on. And while we're in here, even though, what we might do too is I might throw these LUTs off. Look how different, first of all, look how different the Zeiss Milvus is from these Minoltas. Well, that's the 58. So let's see, we got the 18. What would be closest? The 21? right there. Yeah, so that's a 21 Minolta Rokkor. Let's turn these nodes off, make this bigger. Let me, can I get this any bigger? I didn't really want to get rid of the clips, but oh well. So yeah, I don't want to get rid of the clips because I want to be able to bounce between the Milvis and the 21. Let's see, let's get somewhere like this. Look at the, man, look at the flare though. Look at the flare on that 21 mil. Hold on. So what I was using was one of those little Godox lights. They're like the little 60s, just a little hard Fresnel. So what I do there, I backlight her to see kind of if she has any halation or glow. Now my 21 was CLA'd by Steve's Camera, so they do the real CLA. It's like $450. They took out that styrofoam thing in there that I was like worried about. That's actually what it corrodes over time and destroys your lens. So it was all freshened up. So it's not going to have like any crazy haze or anything to it because all of that's been, you know, taken care of. So here you can see kind of a nice glow there. Here, I'll get rid of the clips now. Let's just look at this for a minute. It's been a long time since I looked at this. This is a really nice lens. The downside with the 21 mil is that it's kind of an oddball out. It doesn't really match the others. Now, the funny thing here is it probably is the only Minolta that I had CLA'd. That might be, here's the thing, maybe the coatings were so soft on it that they were stripped. Maybe the original coatings got stripped in the CLA, and maybe that's why it became the oddball out. But just look how well it flares with that CLA. You know, it's got a nice flare, but these flares are very reminiscent of the 24 mil. Let's just pop out and look at the 24 mil. Keep in mind, the 24 mil is the same exact optics as the Leica R 24 mil. So these are going to be damn near identical. You got to bear in mind, look how heinous so there was the flare on it right there, just from that backlight. Very similar to that 21. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Oh, they all reset. Let's go back. But keep in mind, this crop is insane, right? Like, I'm so used to seeing full frame for a couple of years now. I look at this and I go, this is not a 24 mil. You know, like, this is what I mean. That's like one of the biggest downsides of Super 35. And you don't know it until you stop shooting on it all the time, right? And then you started going full frame, because this would never work nowadays for me. You know, having a 24 mil that's this tight when you're this close is just like, wow, that's crazy to me. Anyways, yeah, so here's this 24 is nuts. Now this was a really clean, copy I had. I still have it, actually. I've been willing to sell it. Just because I don't really have a place for the Minoltas anymore. I don't have a place for a lot of vintage lenses anymore. I kind of got over it a little bit for now. I will say that I'm kind of just in the realm of just going back to the filter game, you know, with the Athenas. You can see the wicked focus breathing though. Let's just watch this in real time, and you'll notice that wicked focus breathing. Look at that. If you don't know how to watch for it, it's very simple. You just look in the corners and just notice how much zooms in and out. This is a straight up zoom. You know, it's focus breathing so bad it's zooming. And then I think I go straight to the iris pull and yeah, stop signs for days. This is a lot of the reasons why you know, and it doesn't matter if it's a Minolta Rokkor, a Canon FD, a Leica R, an Olympus, whatever vintage photo lens of your choice. They're all going to suffer from this stuff. And some people are okay with it. Me, I'm not okay with it. You know, the stop sign bokeh is something that you would have to only be able to, you'd only be able to change that by adding more blades in the rehouse process. And those specific rehouses, if they add more iris blades, you are talking about a decent amount of coin, a lot of money to do that. Most of them aren't going to add iris blades to fix your stop sign bokeh. And also, I guess with a rehouse, you could get rid of the focus breathing. That would be like the main thing you could probably get rid of in the rehouse. I would hope. I would imagine you could get rid of it. I don't think it would completely get rid of it, you know, because they do stay true to the original optical design to some extent. But you know, I couldn't fathom spending that much money on a rehouse. So that just kind of went away from me, and I just couldn't deal with all these little problems anymore. You know, this breathing is, I mean, just look when I'm scrubbing it fast. That is a huge zoom. It's a zoom. That's not a breathing. That's a zoom. You know, I mean, that's like, you know, that's like the Rokkor level of focus breathing right there. You know, it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all. Anyways. But if we look at the colors, if we just want to look at the color chart of the 21, and maybe you'll see what I was talking about. So the 16, if I get my hand out of the way there, and this one's a little difficult because this is a fisheye. And if we just want to pay attention to the skin tones as well and see where the skin tones are landing, they're landing damn near perfect on this 16 mil. That was a beautiful 16 mil though for what it was. The 21 mil, damn, I don't know. There would be certain lighting conditions, really just like natural lighting conditions. Well, here you can see it actually. Look at this 24 mil and then look at this 21 mil. Or do you think it's the 24 that's kind of weird? Let's see where the 24 is landing. Maybe the 24 is the one pushing. Oh, it is. The 24 mil is pushing magenta. You can see it there on the vector scope. I'm going to jump back now to 21. Pay attention to the vector scope, and it goes back to normal. 16 mil and 21 mil are pretty dead on. It's the 24 that might be the culprit. Interesting. Pushing a little magenta according to that vector scope. Let's see the next one down, the 58. Well, now we're so tight and so shallow. And this one is also more like the 21. Maybe I misspoke. I don't know. The 21 is more pushing yellow greenish than the others even. I wish this one wasn't so far off. This one's not too bad though. So this is the 58 1.2. This is the third version, MCX. So this is even more different than the other one. Anyways, everyone that came in here for the Sinners thing, they're like, what the fuck? He's looking at mannequin heads. And this is the Zeiss Milvis right here. I still have this lens as well. I don't know why. I don't need any of these wide lenses. Again, if I was still shooting on Super 35, honestly, I would need these. But in the full frame world, no, I don't need anything wider than a 25 mil in the full frame world. That's just me though. And now sadly it had to jump to Sony. So this was the 135. And you'll start to see what I'm talking about. 135, right? Let me blow this up. 135 millimeters, 100 millimeters. That's a 35 millimeter difference. It's honestly not that drastic of a difference in my opinion. But now notice the difference of the skin tone color. So here's another prime example. Or maybe is it just the contrast throwing me off? Could be the difference in contrast. The 100 mil did have a lot more haze inside of it, so it's going to have less contrast than the 135. So that's another thing you got to be careful of. You know, lenses full of haze, they're going to have really low contrast. And now the 85 mil. Do you see what I mean though? It's a much easier way to demonstrate it on full frame because it does really just feel like a punch in, you know, versus these guys. But even on Super 35, you know, it's pretty drastic of a difference, but you would really feel it even more if these were done on full frame. I was really hoping this was the whole library and it's not. What a fucking bummer, dude. What a bummer. Yeah. I don't know though. They are, man, you know, my opinion still stands. You know, they are still some of my favorite vintage lenses. You know, ideally in the perfect world, I would be a rich man and I would rehouse these things. Look at that 24 mil. It's so crazy of a flare, which reminds me, we were watching the latest episode of The Last of Us, and man, they have some awesome flares in this train station. And I wanted to see, do any of you know what they shot that on? What lenses they're using on the newest season? I'm hoping they have it on here. What season is that? That's season 3 now? Or season 2? Oh yeah, so they already started filming season 3. What the hell? Okay, so season 2 is the newest one. And what that was episode, yeah, it was the latest one, episode 4. I wonder if they tell us what lenses they're using on this show right now. It might be on the first episode. Sometimes it works like that. They might give more details on the first episode, because the way those lenses flared was really unique, honestly. It looked like a little triangle. Yeah, we got nothing in here either. Damn it. I was hoping that they would have shown us. I don't think it's the same. It doesn't seem like it's the same flare as the last season. But they also weren't really telling us too much about the first season either, were they, in terms of what they were shooting it on lenses. I might be able to pull up the ASC, speaking of which. They'll see this video and cancel my subscription. We'll get in here and well, here we go. Cooke S4s. So that was season 1. Season 1, they were doing the Ariel Alexa Mini with the Cooke S4s. Let's just see something. Let's go to Vimeo real quick. Boy, it's been a long time since I've been on Vimeo. Does anybody even still use this anymore? You know what they did? They dicked me over so bad on here. So my subscription or whatever ran out. I used to pay for Vimeo. All of my videos used to be on Vimeo. And I guess something happened where my bank, oh yeah, I replaced my credit card, or my bank card got replaced, right? So I had a new bank card. And they didn't ever tell me. They didn't reach out to me and let me know, like, hey man, you know, the charge didn't go through. Do you have another card? Never got an email like that whatsoever. I found out one day because I went on to Vimeo and all of my videos were gone. They're just gone. I used to have, you'll notice now I only have 2 videos on here, 2 old ass videos, because I've never been back on Vimeo ever since. This happened to me a long time ago. They just straight up deleted all of my videos. Like videos, I had videos on here from like when I first started doing cinematography back in 2017, just gone, dude. And you'll never get them back. They just completely wipe them. And I was like, what? And I was done with Vimeo after that. But I was just curious because sometimes they have pretty decent lens tests on here. So we'll just see if we can find something for the Cooke S4s. Because I don't think these are the same lenses that they're using on the latest season. I just don't think it is. They flared really crazy. They were like little triangles. But no, you know what they look like? They look like spades. They look like the top of a spade. You know, like the spades playing cards, like spades. Let me just pull it up real quick. So like, yeah, like if you look at a spade, the flares look just like that. They look just like that. It's like this crazy, like that shape and just really colorful. And that's what it looked like though. It looked like a bunch of spades rather than circles. And I don't think, I've never seen the Cookes do that. Cooke S4s. Let me see. Sigma F full frame. Let's see. Let's just see what it does on this video. I don't think I can get flagged for a Vimeo video. I just want to see how this thing flares real quick. The Faustian man. Season 2 of The Last of Us, the series was primarily shot using the Ariel Alexa Mini digital cinema camera paired with Cooke S4i prime lenses. Stuart, yeah, you know that for sure on season 2? Because I'm pretty, it appears to be that's what they did for season 1, but I don't think those lenses is what they used on season 2. At least not the latest episode. We got to find a flare shot in here. Let's see. You notice though, it's circular. It's too circular. I can already tell that, right? Wait, that was bokeh. Here we go. Is this going to be a flare shot? Come on, give me a good old fashioned flashlight. Come on, hit me with a flashlight. I don't know if they're going to. This is man, look how crazy the edges are. Look at that too. It's got a little bit of ninja stars there. They're not gonna hit us with a flashlight. Stuart Monroe says he knows everything. All right, all right. They're not hitting me with a good flashlight beam though. That's what I need. I don't see it anywhere in here. How are you gonna do a lens test and not strike the lens? This is unacceptable. Unacceptable lens test. You know who have it? ShareGrid will have it. I know they did Cook S4s. ShareGrid lens tests. They'll have it. Lens test home. Here we go. They know how to do a lens test proper. Let's see. Quad player. Nah, dude, get out of here with that. Let's see. They're not anamorphic, are they? I don't think so. Oh, come on, dude. This is how this website's set up? Vintage stills lenses? No. Vintage cinema lenses. Why is it like this, guys? What is going on here? What did I do wrong? Where is just the lens test? Oh, here they are. They're right here. I clicked on the wrong thing. I have some work to do in the morning and it starts at 4:30. Damn, John, you better go to bed. Take care of one and all, just and stay cool, brother. All right, John. Thank you, brother. And have a good week, my man. And a good rest. S for spherical. Gotcha. That makes sense. Well, look, Cook S7i. That's not right, is it? Where is it? Where is it? They don't have them in here, dude. They don't even have them in here. They don't have it in here. Because these aren't the same, right? Vimeo deleted all my old BMX videos too. Yeah, what the hell's up with that? Honestly, like, dude, like, I wish they could be sued for that. I mean, imagine how many people lost their videos. It's not going to be the same as these guys. Yeah, these aren't the same. Yeah, years worth of stuff. Yeah, dude, that's a shame, dude. Vimeo did a lot of people dirty, man. They really did. Damn, guys. I thought for sure they would have them in here. All right, back to Vimeo then. What a bummer, man. S4s. Okay. Jeez, I got to get rid of this stuff. Hold on. S4s. These guys didn't do it good. We need one that's really going to blast the lens. Let's look at these ones. Let's see. Master Prime, Cook S4s, Cook Pencro. Okay, these guys will have it. Do they have timestamps for us? Please, no timestamps. Son of a bitch. All right, we're going to have to scrub through this. Airy Master Primes. All right, so these are Airy Master Primes. Let's go ahead. Oh no, this guy did us dirty, dude. No friggin' timestamps, no way to tell what's what. Here we go, Cook Pencros. Oh, we skipped S4s. Let's back up a little bit. Zeiss Super Speeds. Oh, these are out of order. So the order of his title doesn't even match the order. Oh, here we go, Cook S4s. Here we go. 18 mil. Holy shit. See, that's a real 18 mil right there. Airy 239 frames up. Cook S4 T28 on there. Let us see if he's going to hit us with a flare on this bad boy. Here we go. See that though? No spades. No spades on that. But this is the 18 mil. That doesn't count. We'll wait to see a tighter one. Let's see what's next. Let's scrub ahead. Oh, I see how he's doing it. He's doing it by focal length. All right, I guess that's fair. Let's jump ahead then to like a 50 mil. Oh, 32 mil. That'll be good. Let's see. Cook Pencro. Cook S4. Here we go. This will give us a flare. Cook S4. Let's see how this one turns out. This is a nice looking lens, dude. Holy shit. These look way better than the other ones. Wait, what camera is this on? Airy Mini, Airy Raw, 3x4K, open gate. Wow. Open gate. Okay, then. Look at those ninja stars. Man, the ones on that other camera, the edges were all shot to hell. This one is clean. This one's crispy. 35 mil Cook S4. Yeah, these are nice lenses, man. Holy shit. Yeah. All right, let's see that flare, though. I don't think these are the ones. It just doesn't flare the same. Here we go. Yeah. I don't know, man. It doesn't look the same to me. I don't think those are the ones they used on this newest season. You'll have to go. You have to watch the newest episode, and when they're in this like train station, they hit the lens just like this guy is doing, and the flare is nuts. It looks like spades. But you know what, too? Maybe they were stopped down a little bit. This guy's ripped wide open, right? They're only a T28. Maybe, yeah, you love the 35. Yeah, it looks good, huh? Maybe they were stopped down a little bit, and that's what creates the spades flare. That shit don't look the same to me, though. It doesn't have that same kind of look. Maybe let's jump to the 50 mil Zeiss Super Speeds. Look at those things, just washed out. Let's see, 75 mil. Oh shit, we jumped too far ahead. Oh, there is no 50 mil? He jumped right to the 75. Dude, this guy doesn't play no games, dude. Let's see, 75, Cook S4. Okay, here's the S4 75 mil. Virtually no breathing. Pretty impressive there. He's got that minimum close focus. He didn't tell us what the distance was, though. That's a note. If you guys are going to do online lens tests, you should always put what the minimum focus distance is. If you even have that, like what he did. But that's just a great way when you do it, when you set it up, when you do your rack focuses, make sure that like you're going from the nearest, like, and put it to what, you know, the minimum of the lens is, like what he did with that barbell or dumbbell, or I don't know, it looked like a weight. I don't know what the hell it was. Look at this thing. It just completely washes out. I wish he would have stopped them down a little bit and we could have seen the flares at like a T4 or something. This is way too washed out, man. They need to CLA that bitch. That thing is just milky AF. Wow. That is super washed out. I don't know. That's not my thing really, but I probably, if you stop them down, I bet you at like T28, they clean up like immediately. Man, he just kept, oh, here we go. T28. Hell yeah. Look at those ninjas though. Wow, that bokeh gets gnarly, dude. Holy shit. Look at that. Nice skin though. Nice skin tones on those suckers. And let's see. I'm just waiting for that flare, man. These are nice though. Look at that. Virtually no breathing whatsoever. And then, yeah, bokeh it out. Oh yeah, so this is minimum focus. You know, it's there down on the corner, the right corner of the screen, minimum focus. And then hit us with the flare, dude. Those ninja stars are a little weird. I don't even know. Those aren't ninja stars. I don't even know what you call those. Like stepped on pizza boxes. That bokeh is a little nuts, man. So see, that's like the flip side with these ones. It's like, do you want to have them ripped wide open and have milky flares? Or do you want to stop down, get better flares, and then have like weird ass bokeh? Like, I don't know. What's the trade-off here? Still milky at T28 though. It might be the lens, dude. That lens might be full of dust. It's pretty milky to me. I wish he would have done the 50 mil though. This 75, I mean, I do love a 75 mil, but I was kind of hoping the 50 would have been like, I feel like a 50 mil is the best way to demonstrate the flare, but I could be wrong about that. But this thing's not doing anything. It's just milking out, even at a T28. Come on, dude. Stop it down one more. Give us one more. Give us a T4. Give us a T. Oh, he jumped to the Cook Pancros. Gotta give us at least a T4. But he's got a lot of lenses he's trying to go through, so can't fault him for that. Dude, this bokeh looks a lot like the Nisi Athenas. No joke. Like, see how it starts nice and round, and then it's cat eyes out to the edges. So see, yeah, even the Chinese lenses do that shit. That's a Cook Pancro lens, but that's an old ass lens. But that's why they do it though. A lot of them try to copy and emulate with the vintage lenses that people love and want. That thing breathes a little bit. Did you see that? Watch the corners. This Cooke Panchro, breathing, dude. Look at it breathing. Wow. That thing breathes quite a bit, actually. That breathes a lot, but pretty sharp for that old ass lens. Look at the focus on that. That's too big of a breather though. That would cause Deacons to throw up in a bag. That was gnarly. This isn't too bad though. Let's see how this one flares. I'm really curious to see if we can find the lenses that they're using. I'm gonna jump to the flare real quick. Washing out. But notice that crazy, like, notice this kind of weird, like, rainbow, I don't know what it's like. It's like a cat eye thing. Like, let's watch it again. Like that thing right there, like that weird rainbow thing. Sometimes it's okay. I don't know how I feel about it. You know what else does that? The Leica 19mm. It has that crazy weird like rainbow pupil too. See how it just like goes all the way across the screen? The Leica R19mm does that. At least the version 1. The version 1. I don't know if the version 2 does that, but any version 1 I've seen, it always does that. What is he saying? Yeah, that's some deep breathing. Yeah, exactly, dude. That was gnarly. I kind of like the way that flared, though, at the end. Hold up. I want to rewind that real quick. As he's going away and he's, like, flying off of the lens, it has, like, that veiling flare. That's kind of nice, actually, when it's, like, straight pointed down. That's pretty nice, actually. That's, like, a cool, like, in-camera effect. That's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like it. It almost looked like if you were like using a crystal in front of the lens. That's what it looked like. Those Panchros ain't bad, actually. I've never really looked at those. Let's see here. Come on, get on with it. Hey, that bokeh's pretty good on this one. Oh, he stopped it down? Wow, it cleaned up immediately. One stop. It's all almost identical now. Wow. Okay, we might get like a huge improvement on the flares then. Wow, I've never seen bokeh clean up that good on one stop. That's crazy to me. It's all the same size now. It is a little, it's got some hard edges though. It is kind of stop signy still. This one's gnarly. But it's a really good improvement when it compared to when it's ripped wide open. This turned into like me like analyzing these lenses now. But this is good if you guys want to start doing lens test videos, you know? Kind of think about the stuff that matters. Now, a lot of times why he's doing the panning is because, you know, he's watching for distortion on her face. Like, so it's more to see, like, when her face gets to the edge of the frame and to see, like, if she starts distorting at all. Oh, wait, wait, what the hell am I doing here? T28. But you notice it's like, it's a trade-off, right? Like, as soon as you stop down, your now on this one, it's like reverse. The bokeh gets better, but the flares honestly kind of get worse in my opinion. I kind of like the gnarly kind of like veiling flare it had when it was ripped wide open. Now it just seems kind of generic to me. I think they got haze going on in that room too. Feels like I saw a little bit of haze in there. Zeiss Super Speeds. Here we go. The goats. The goats. The Zeiss Super Speeds. These are the best ones too, man. Let's see. Look at this is an 85 Zeiss Super Speed. We'll just check this out. This one's been an interesting one, but it's been kind of a slow night here. I wonder why he sits so long on it. You know what I mean? Like, here we go. It just felt like we're like lingering on her face forever. You don't really want to do that. You know, it's like, okay, we get the idea. Like, it's a lens test, dude. People can pause, hold up. Look at this nonsense. Look at these. Look, okay. Do you see like how they have this like perfect edge around them? No bueno. This is gnarly, dude. This like, these are aberrations, man. These are gnarly. This is, I would not select these just because of that right there. They're like Petri dishes. It's got like a perfect orb around it, like a circle. It looks like someone hit these with a highlighter. Not a fan. Are you wearing a homeless man's glove or is it a weird guard? Or are you going for the Cam Mackey cowboy hat artistic look? What are you talking about? Oh, oh, this thing. Hold up, hold up. Let's go to the. Let's go to the. This guy. Hold on. I got too many screens up here. I got shit. I got to move around here. So let me. I'm just trying to go to main webcam. He's talking about this thing, huh? No. I sprained my wrist a couple weeks ago because I've been skateboarding again, trying to. And yeah, so I sprained my wrist there. So that's what that is. But why? Would you not, would you think of me differently if I was wearing a homeless man's glove? One glove, one fingerless glove. Is that why it was homeless man? Because he thought it was a fingerless glove? Back to the horrible aberrations of the Zeiss super speed. Man, I don't know. Now they got some wicked veiling flare too. Look at that. None of them got that spade that I'm looking for though. Not one. What a bummer, man. I don't know. I don't believe you, my dude. I don't think that they were using those S4s on the latest episode of The Last of Us. I just don't think, it just doesn't look, I haven't seen any of these lenses flare like that yet. That's a good looking one. What's this one? Oh, I got the thing on there. Oh, he took the title off. You never want to do that. Now we don't even know what we're looking at. Let's get back to those S4s real quick. And we can break that down one more time. All right, show me the flare on this one. Come on, buddy. Here comes the flare. Cook S4, T28. So now it is stop down, right? These are T2 or are these T28? This is just gnarly, dude. This doesn't even look good. It's just, you got to go watch the episode and you'll see immediately what I'm talking about. It's like straight spades. These don't have it, dude. These are not doing what it did on the show. I don't think it's the same. And he's literally doing the same thing that she does. She just hits the lens with the flashlight. We should see the same flare. Now, I saw your skate clip and was just wondering if it was a weird wrist guard. Yeah, it's well, it's like it's a 2-in-1, right? So it's a guard, but it's also like a thing that helps support it so I don't like twist it, and because it's still, believe it or not, it's still healing. So like I just don't want to like tweak it again while it's still trying to heal, and I don't want to forget that I messed it up. You know what I mean? So I want to like just I try to wear this as much as I can, just more to like remind me that, oh, I have a wrist that's sprained, because you know me, I'll forget immediately and like go to like do something and instantly regret it. Yo, the Meyer Optic Lithith 30mm has excellent rainbow flares. You might like it. I have one. It's used in diamond gold jewelry photography. I wish there was a cine version. What up, Signer man? Hold up. What is he talking about? Let's look it up real quick here. What's he talking about? Meyer Optic. Yeah, I know about the Meyer Optics, actually. I have been looking for those. I did see a thing recently where it was talking about those. Oh yeah, I guess I don't need this anymore. I can use this. Which one are you talking about here? A 30mm Meyer Optic. You talking about this thing? 3.5? Is this what you're talking about, bro? One of these things? The new version. What mount is this thing? Oh, I see. It's an M mount? No, it's an L mount. An L mount lens? Oh, so they probably make this for all the mounts then, huh? I just don't really like the, I don't like the way it looks. The actual lens. I wish they would have... Now, what's going on with this? Straight out of camera. Oh, I see. Versus his... Oh, it's kind of low-con look, huh? Oh, I see. You're talking about all... Oh, you're talking about the flare specifically? I do like the crazy bokeh, though. It's kind of nutty, huh? It's got pretty decent foreground pop. Here's the flare. Oh, this is what you're talking about, the veiling rainbow flare? Yeah, that's got pretty... It looks a lot like those, don't it? That's kind of like the Pancros. Wow, that's pretty good. But Signer Man, I was talking specifically about There's in the newest episode of The Last of Us, they had the lens flare in that looks like spades. It looks like the shape of spades. It's gnarly looking. So that's why we were looking at those. We are trying to figure out what the lenses were, because I'm, going by last season. Last season they used the Cooke S4s, but nah, that ain't where it's at, dude. I really don't think they're still using those, because that shit don't look the same to me. Yeah, this is pretty good lens. This guy does pretty good reviews too. I usually read his shit. The bokeh's nuts though, ain't it? Look at all the ads on this shit though, dude. You can't look at anything anymore without looking at like a million ads. It drives me nuts. Yeah, dude, that looks pretty good. What camera do you use on? Check rainbow flares. Oh, M42 version is better. Okay, yeah, so this is probably like a newer version. That's what he said, right? The new version, yeah. Okay, hold up. So you're talking about an M42 mount. Let me do this. So that's the original, right? Because that would be old. That's like the original. There are great examples on Google for rainbow flare. Yeah. Okay. This looks like the newer one though too, huh? So these guys are like making these now. Yeah, so you can tell these are the newer versions. They still got it though. I feel like they still, replicated it pretty well. The bokeh's nuts, huh? Yeah, I was commenting about the rainbow flare because I do like the way it looks, but I do feel like it's like you were saying, jewelry. I could see that. I could see them using it like in the jewelry. These are all the new one, dude. No one. I can't. I'm avoiding YouTube on purpose because it'll just flag me, and I don't want to deal with that. But I was hoping I could find it like somewhere else, like maybe on Flickr or something. Honestly, probably Vimeo too, huh? Let's go back to this real quick. Hold up. Let's see if we can find the original here. Meyer Optic. What is it? Lidith. Meyer Optic Lidith. Meyer Optic Gorlitz. Let's get an old one. Yeah, here you go. 2011. This will be a good one. It's only 27 seconds. This will be a good one. 2011. I like that old shit. Give me that shit before YouTube got nutty. Straight black. Okay, we're off to a good start. What an interesting thing here. It's like why? Why is that your flare test, dude? Sorry if you're in here, but that is not the way I would have done it. Okay, let's see. Look at this. Here we go. Okay, this one's on the Pocket 6K at 120. So they're using this on the Blackmagic Pocket here. Oh, does that have volume? Let's mute that. Have they all had volume and I just didn't know it? Camellia. Man, maybe I should turn these off. Have they all been playing music and I didn't realize it until that one because it was just super loud? You guys didn't tell me? Yo, Stuart says, have you ever used Dehancer Pro? If yes, what do you think of it? If not, what other programs do you use? Yeah, man, I use Dehancer all the time. They sponsored they didn't sponsor a video. They hooked me up. You guys didn't see the video I made about Dehancer? I did this crazy video about them. I don't know. They said that they responded with epic, but I don't know. That could be interpreted a lot of different ways. I don't know how they felt about it, honestly. I kind of just like, I did my weird thing. But yeah, so yeah. But yeah, I did get a lifetime for it, both for Resolve and Lightroom. I really don't care for it for Lightroom, but I do actually like it for Resolve. We'll look at it right now. I still have Resolve open. It was this one right here where it says they're taking over the internet, a 12-step program for filmaholics. Honest look at Dehancer film emulation. It's only got 2,000 views. But it's a shame. It should have 50,000 views. You guys should just watch the intro. The intro is worth it. I will say that. Anyways, yeah. I don't mind Dehancer. We can actually, let's fuck with it on one of these Rokkor tests here. Which one? Maybe this 21 mil. So this is what we'll do. I'll take this, let's just reset this grade. So I'll show you, I did a breakdown of how I use it. So yeah, I have their latest Dehancer Pro. The reason why I don't like it for Lightroom is because, well, I already have what I like to use for Lightroom. It's a preset that I've just used for over a year now, and it's just easy. It's a pain in the ass with Lightroom because you have to go outside of Lightroom and edit in Dehancer's little plugin, then round trip back to Lightroom for every single individual photo. It's so insane. I guess there might, and also because they haven't developed a way to make presets yet for Lightroom specifically. So I don't know if it's like this, you know, Lightroom's putting up a roadblock for Dehancer or what it is. But yeah, I steer clear of it for Lightroom because of it's just annoying to use. But for Resolve, I love it. So what I do is, and you know, Sinner's got me like super hooked, talking round trip back to Sinners. They got me a little hooked on, so let's just hold up. Let's pause. Let's back up a little bit here. I want to talk about Sinners real quick because Sinners actually was shot on film. And honestly, like, it made sense to me immediately when I heard that it was shot on film because this shit is dark. It is so dark. Like, the whole time I was thinking, man, this movie could really use a ROSCO Dash Dot. And if you guys saw my highlight video, you know what I'm talking about. So I'll just bounce back here and we can go way, way back. We can go way, way back for all of you that are brand new here. We can go way back to this video right here. Essential iLight Essential Kit, a new standard for iLight or best pocket LED light, ROSCO Dash Dot. 2 years ago, only 6.8 thousand views. Such a shame, such a shame. But ever since this, now these things are everywhere. I see these ROSCO Dash Dots everywhere. I see them behind the scenes on stuff all the time. Everyone's using these for iLights now. I would like to, I feel like I was one of the first ones, me and Tim Kang. I feel like shout out to Tim Kang. He definitely doesn't watch my videos, but if he did, that would be rad. But anyways, I feel like me and him were like the first ones really talking about them. But Sinners really needed that on their set. Look, I love the look of this film. It's beautiful. But the only time we got to see the eyes is when it was the vampires. And maybe that was the point, right? Maybe that's the whole point. I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to buy it because the reason why I don't buy it is because there are multiple times in this film where the low light, like here's a great example where they did have an eye light, and this is non-vampire, right? So this is just a real eye light. This is such a beautiful frame right here for so many reasons. You know, you can look at all the basics here. They got a little bit of room tone coming down there for his hair light. You know, he's looking towards the source. He's got a perfect Rembrandt on him, nice soft lighting and eye light. Now you're probably like, what the fuck happened? I thought we were talking about Dehancer here. What I'm getting to here is that this film is actually shot on film. They shot Sinners on film. So that's why we're going full circle here. Anyways, but I got caught off guard because you'll notice, what the fuck? What happened to the eye light? What? This guy barely has one eye light. You know what I mean? I don't know. That was my only pet peeve. Look, listen to me. This movie is amazing. It's beautiful. I love everyone involved with this film. Not talking trash. I'm just me as a cinematographer. I was just watching in the theaters, just be like, damn, here they got one. But I guess it makes sense. They're watching, you know, something that provides a lot of eye light. But most of the time, I would say like 90% of the time, there's not an eye light where there definitely could have been one. You know, inside this place is a prime example. Zero eye light. So many times, it just would have been nice to just have a little bit of eye light, man. Prime example again, zero eye light. But again, what the fuck do I know? Maybe they're just using that as a way to lean in. Like, no, only the vampires. Maybe they were thinking. I could see, here's the thing, like I could understand where this could get weird too, like talking to a director or producer about this. They'd be like, no, we don't want it. We don't want anyone to have it confused with the vampire, you know, because the vampires have these little beady, like firefly eyes. So maybe they were just thinking like, no. And you know, that's fine. That's a justified choice, you know? But either way, anyways, we're getting off topic here. Why do I bring all that up? Anyways, when I found out it was shot on film, I go, oh, that's why they probably didn't really utilize the eye light because it's so fucking dark. And the film is, film just doesn't do well with underexposure, but we all know that. Anyways, but I think it's important to pay attention to what kind of film they shot on. And this is how we go back to Dehancer. See how we're doing? We're doing this long loop-de-loop. Sorry. So we'll notice for the night shots, Kodak Vision 3 500T, which AKA is the same as Cine Still 800T. It's the same shit. And then Ektachrome 100D was their daylight film. Guys, it looks so fucking good. And then on top of that, and this ties in with Dehancer as well, what did they print it on? Kodak Vision 2383. So we have all of this at our disposal now because of Dehancer, or you could even do it in real life. You can shoot on Cine Still 800T, or even use Vision 3 500T, and you can have the same film. Ektachrome 100D, on the other hand, is very expensive. I could not believe how expensive Ektachrome is. This shit is expensive. Look for, even for a cartridge of Super 8. A cartridge of Super 8 is $65 for this film. But man, their daylight stuff looked so good. Let me see. We just had a great shot. I mean, here's one right here. This is film, guys. This is film, real film. Not the new way that they do it where they shoot on digital and then turn into film. This thing was actually shot on film and then printed on film. The daylight stuff looks so rad though. Let's go down here and get to a better shot of it. Where was it? There was an awesome shot of him sitting outside. Oh man, oh, it's right here. This shot is so good. I mean, look at this shot, dude. Beautiful shot right there. Ektachrome 100D. Crazy, right? Anyways, so that's why I round tripped back to that. Now we can try to, well, let's do this one where I have some background. It's going to be harder with this one because this was a 7S III. Clearly was not shot in log. Why, I don't know, because I fucked up the test. Anyways, we can still utilize it. So let's do this. I'm going to drop in Dehancer on the very first node. It instantly gets fucked, but that's okay. We're going to disable everything. We're going to disable film. We're going to disable expand. We're going to disable print. I'll leave grain on, but what I like to do is put it on 65mm ISO 50. I don't like the heavy ass, fake ass grain they put, but I do like a little bit of grain because it helps counteract with any digital noise. Certainly with YouTube video, like, or when you upload it to the internet. So I do leave the film grain on, but I put it on 65mm ISO 50. It just looks clean to me. Here, you can see it looks very clean. Maybe you'd say, not grainy enough for me, Justin. Well, that's fine. Then you could go 65mm 250. Just add it a little more, right? I don't know. I like it compared to 35mm. So if you look at like the 35mm 250, big difference. Look at that. I don't know, man. That's a little too grainy for me. It all depends on the look you're going for though, right? But that film, their film was shot super clean. It's probably because it was IMAX, which was 65mm. So this is the equivalent of it, right? That's 65mm 50D, but we don't have 50. We had 100D and 500T. So we'll say, okay, we'll split in the middle. We'll go 250. So that's the type of grain that we're working with. Pretty clean and crispy, right? Okay. So then what we do, we go down here and I do the vignette. I do the vignette first. Okay. So now what I'll do, but then I'm going to mask it. Okay. And I'm going to have to, I'm going to mask it. I'm a little off center, but I don't care. You could adjust it. You know, you could, here's the one negative thing I'll say about this part of this vignette feature within Dehancer. There's no way to like scroll the XY, and that's a disservice to the vignette. Like they should add a little, you know, scroll wheel here where I could rotate the XY axis of my vignette. So I'm not going to fuck with it because it's a pain in the ass. Also, I don't really care for the sake of this video. I'm going to put it like that. I'll turn mask mode off. And now I'll just pull back. I'm going to turn on my waveform. And I'm just going to pull that exposure down just a little bit. It's just a vignette. You're only adjusting the vignette or the exposure of the vignette, right? So I'm going to put it about right there. Okay. Now I'm going to jump back up to the, now for input, I'm just going to leave it on Rec 709 because I didn't shoot this in log. If I did shoot it in log, you could find it. Any camera is in here, you can find it. Actually, let's bounce back to the red and I'll show you, I'll prove it. Let's go back to the one we were looking at. So this also has Dehancer applied, but what I can do here is I can go in here and go to choose camera, and then we can choose, look at all the cameras in here. They have Apple, Arri, Blackmagic, Canon, DJI, Fujifilm, Kinefinity, Panasonic, Red. We'll turn on red, And then I will come down here and change it to the Komodo 6K. And there we go, right? So now I have it mapped to the red R3D log footage, right? And here's all my raw information in the camera raw tab. Okay, so now we did that. Now what I'm gonna do, I can turn on the expand. I turn on the expand tool and I'll start messing with the black point. And I'm gonna bring it down just where it starts to flatten out down there. And then with the white point, let's jump over here so I can identify which point is my cheek, my key side cheek. Notice that right there. So right now, the red flavor of my skin is just under the 768 line. It's pushing it for me, right? I probably shouldn't even push the white point beyond this, so I probably won't. I'm gonna leave the white point as is in the expand tool. Then I'm going to pick my film. So I turn on my film and I'm gonna choose, since this is indoors, let's choose what they used on Sinners, and let's go Vision 3 500T. There it is right there, right? So now I have the same film that they did for indoors, Kodak Vision 3 500T. Now that I turn that on, now I'm gonna turn on Developer, turn that on, and I'm gonna jump back here and look real quick at the vector scope and see if I need any color boost. I might just push the color just a tad, just a little bit of a color boost. And then let me see if I want to fuck with the contrast. Maybe I'll put it right there. Okay, so that's my film developer. Then I'm going to jump down to film compression. I'm going to turn that on, jump back to my waveform. And now I'm going to play with the impact of this a little bit. And I might bring it up a little bit right there. And maybe I'll fuck with my white point a little bit because I'm going off of the slate there for white point. That looks pretty good. Tonal range you can fuck with a little bit, but you notice you're losing contrast if you pull it that way. If you go this way, you're gaining contrast. I'm gonna just put it right there. All right, so now that I did that, now I'm gonna jump down and I'm gonna turn on my print. All right, we're gonna go in here and look, Kodak 2383 print fill, the same film they printed Sinners on. So now I have the same combination of film, Kodak Vision 3 500T and Kodak 2383 print. And notice how contrasty it got, right? But you can jump down here to tonal contrast and you can pull some of that back, right? I'm in the total contrast slider here. And you know, it's up to you. You want to go dark with it or you want to bring it back a little bit, right? We can readjust our target white point, maybe something like that, keep it white. And we can even fuck with our exposure a little bit, right? So that's getting a little too crazy. Bring it down. And so remember this area right here, I'm on the waveform here with the cursor. That's my face, right? So I want to keep it where it was around that 768 mark. I'm probably not going to fuck with it now. I'm going to turn my film grain on and we'll go back to 65 mil ISO 250. So we got the right amount of grain. And I don't fuck with halation, although 500T would have halation. But look how nasty it is. But if we can change it to 65 mil, I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you see it on, there it is. There it is off, there it is on. It's a little gnarly to me, right? So you can really see it in this Rokkor thing right here where it says Rokkor 21. That's with the halation on. I don't know. Sometimes I usually leave that stuff off. And then you can turn the bloom on too, but look how wild the bloom gets, right? The bloom gets wild. And obviously, you know, you can pull all these back. You can dial them back. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll turn them on and we'll just like dial them back a little bit so it's not so crazy. And yeah. And then that's usually what I do right there. I mean, you can do all the goofy stuff like the overscan stuff, gate weave and film damage. I don't like to do gate weave because it zooms in. I don't really like to do the damage in the breath because it just starts to look really hokey and fake to me. I just keep it clean. I like it clean and crispy. And this is probably messing up because this footage is on an archive drive, but now it's really going to get washed out. I mean, yeah, this one gets pretty gnarly here, but when it's a clean shot, you know, it looks pretty nice. Not bad. I don't know. A lot of people don't like it. I mean, there's lots of different flavors you could choose in here. I tell you what we should do though. We should change it to the other film they used, which was Ektachrome. And they also have Ektachrome in here. Kodak, Ektachrome, much more crunchier. And you can even do push-pull in here. If you wanted to have like the push-pull effect of pushing and pulling film, you could do that. But we will, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, because it was indoors, I just prefer the 500T. So we'll go back to that, turn that back on, and reset this push-pull. Something like that. Pretty gnarly. We would probably go back over here to the raw tab, and I might adjust this exposure a little bit now that we maybe just bring it up like that. Bump it up a little bit. Yeah, man. Anyways, okay, what is going on, dude? I caught it in the 70mm in downtown Fort Lauderdale. It was so good. Yeah, dude, you saw it on IMAX. I wish we could have seen it in IMAX. Yeah, I was telling at the beginning of the stream when I only had 3 people in here, I was talking about the juke bar scene and how it just blew away anything that Babylon wished that they could have done. Because that's what it reminded me of. There's a scene where there's an amazing one-er scene in this movie, and that's where I had this article pulled up, Sinners Club Juke One Shot. They're calling it the coolest movie scene of the year so far. I would argue that it's the best scene in like the past 10 years. It's just so insane. And the reason why I compared to Babylon, because it instantly reminded me of that crazy scene in Babylon. And it was like, no, dude, this is a million times more effective than what they were trying to do in Babylon. I don't know. I just think it's an amazing film, man. It's just wild. This is actually a shot from the scene I'm talking about. This is like towards the end of the scene that I'm talking about, but that's how insane it gets. I'm not going to reveal too much. I don't want to do any spoilers for you guys. So you just got to go watch the movie. You'll know instantly the one-er shot that I'm talking about. It's so epic. YouTube notifications continue to suck. What's up, Trevor? Trevor, dude, you didn't email me, man. So I didn't know how for us to roast and have the Dog Times version of Mystery Theater 3000 this week. You didn't let me know. I was going to attempt to just like play a movie, but it knew that I had OBS opened, so it wouldn't let me do it. Look at all those noises. It's film. It's beautiful grain. LOL. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I keep it really subtle because look, you guys want to know something? Before I used Dehancer, okay, so I totally deleted all the work I just did. Before I used Dehancer, I used Darren's power grade. Do you guys know Darren? Darren is this mastermind guy. He does color grading videos. He used to work for Blackmagic. He has a big YouTube following. His YouTube blew up in no time, but he's a master at what he does. He's a real professional color gradist. So he has this power grade that he uses for film emulation. This is the entire grade right here. You can get it too. You just got to watch his videos. But this is what I used to use before I had Dehancer. And honestly, this is really good. Whoops, let me undo that. So I have it all saved in here. The only thing I have to change is this color space transform, because this is set up for S-Log3. So all I got to do is turn this into red, because this is our 3D footage that we're working with here. Red, wide gamut, RGB is the input color space, and the input gamma is, what was it be? Red log 3G10, right? So now here we are with this. Okay, so I got the right color space in there now. And then the color space, okay, so the LUT, he just uses the film looks that are already provided to you in Davinci Resolve for free. And they're all in here, right? So you have Kodak 2383, and that's what they printed on. So these are just the prints. So this is just for the prints. And yeah, we did Rec 709. So yeah, D55, right? And then in here, you'll notice he has a whole node dedicated to grain. So again, like I said, I've always added grain to my looks. I should have saved that Dehancer one. Because it just, now looking at it, it's like, yeah, Dehancer actually is pretty decent, man. Because, granted, I didn't put any grain on this. I guess we could do that now, but, it's just, it's very, very different compared to any sort of, anything else that you would do. I like Dehancer because it's just quick. It's quick AF. And for me, for the kind of stuff I do, so for now, these in Resolve, I actually would pump it up a little bit. A lot of times, sometimes I would go like 16 mil, because Resolve's the opposite. Resolve is like super subtle with the grain versus Dehancer, so sometimes I go like 16 mil, 250D, and even that will still be super subtle. It's super subtle grain, but I like that. But I would recommend, like up here, it looks really natural to me. Like I would always use grain because it's going to counteract beautifully with the digital noise when you upload it to the internet. So 100% put grain on everything you're using. Definitely if you're using noise reduction. So if you're having to use noise reduction, I would 100% recommend putting grain on any footage that you're using noise reduction with. Therefore, just use it on all your footage so it all matches. I've actually been watching a Discovery of Witches on Netflix, another witch vampire show, also shot dark. Been watching a Discovery of Witches? Hold on. What you talking about? Is that the name of the show, dude? It's called A Discovery of Witches? Or are you just like oh, that is what it's called. I've never heard of this. Oh, this is a little old, huh? It's been out for a minute. Oh, wait. Maybe we did see a preview for this. A Discovery of Witches. Matthew Good. No, I don't know anything about this. Okay, Trev. Yeah, I'll watch the trailer, I guess. I don't know if this looks like some... The funny thing is like, my attraction to the movie is... I could care less about vampire shit. Not really a fan of vampire stuff. I was just more a fan of the combo of Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, which goes back to the first film. I believe this is the first film they worked on, but this film, I absolutely love. This is Fruitvale Station, by the way. So I absolutely love this movie. And that's really the only reason why I wanted to watch the movie, because and then obviously we know about Black Panther. I've never seen Creed. It's just not the type of movie for me. But Fruitvale Station, Black Panther, big fan of. So I was just more went for like the talent. I'm not really into like vampire stuff. I honestly, I don't even understand a lot of the vampire lore. Like I was asking Marianne questions about certain stuff because I was like lost in the weeds. I'm like, why did they do this? Like, oh, that's just vampire stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I didn't understand why they couldn't just walk into the house. Like I didn't know that. Anyways, I don't want to spoil too much shit. Let's see. Was there anything shot in 65 mil and put on 70 mil? Wait. Was there anything shot in 65 millimeter and put out on 70 millimeter other than this since Oppenheimer? That's a really good question, Jeff. Damn, Jeff coming in here with the fucking hot topics, man. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I think that it is pretty new. It feels like, oh, maybe Nope. I think Nope did that, didn't they? Did Nope do that? I think it did the same thing. I think Nope did the same exact thing as Oppenheimer. And it was before Oppenheimer, right? This was before Oppenheimer. Pretty sure Nope was before Oppenheimer. Yeah, 100%. Let me see. I think they did the same shit. Yeah. Yeah, 70 mil, exactly. Yeah, they did the same thing. So these guys shot on 65 and then printed on 70 mil. Yeah, so Nope may have been the first one to actually do it, honestly. And because I think they did it because I remember Jordan Peele talking about this in an interview with Hoyt, where they were talking about why they chose to do it is because they needed it to be that fucking epic, you know? I think they were the first ones to do it, honestly. I could be wrong about that. Maybe someone in the chat knows. But I feel like Nope may have been the first ones to do that, honestly. Should we Google it? I guess I have the internet here at my hands. So was Nope the first movie to shoot on 65 millimeter and print on 70 mil? Is that right? Isn't that, did I do that right, guys? Nope, they were not. While Nope did use both formats, 2001: A Space Odyssey, oh, well, they're going way back. 2001: A Space Odyssey, Lawrence of Arabia, and My Fair Lady are among the films that were shot on 70 mm. Oh, well, these are actually, okay, so this isn't quite the same thing as what we're talking about here. But yeah, technically, I guess these films were the first ones to do it because they shot on real 70 mil. It's not quite the same of what we're talking about. So I guess that maybe that would be our answer, that Nope were the first ones to do what we're talking about. You know, unless you want to have these old ass movies count, which technically they do count, but it's not quite the same process that we're talking about. So Google isn't quite up to snuff. Maybe I didn't word it the right way, but yeah, anyways. These kids don't know shit about Ektachrome. This is old man talk. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Well, they should. D for daylight balance and T for tungsten balance. Yeah. No, I know. D is probably 5600 and T is probably 3200. I think, Trev, the D is 55. But yeah, horses for courses, I suppose. 5500 for daylight. But yeah, 32 for tungsten. He's more of a Fujifilm guy, by the way. When I shot film, I rarely bought Kodak. Really, dude? I guess so. Fujifilm is a little bit cheaper for sure. I don't know. I've never shot on Ektachrome. I've never shot on Ektachrome before, but this shit is expensive. I'll send you info. Yeah, okay, thank you. It's actually a little more involved. We need to set up a Discord server. Oh, Trev, I have one. I already have a Discord server. So I'm already a step there. And here's the thing too. You know, I've been debating for a long time if I should open up a public channel on my Discord server, because it's always, I've had it for years. It's always been reserved for the Patreon. That was like one of the perks of the Patreon, yada, yada, yada. But I have been thinking lately about opening up one public channel, because I have all different channels under the Dog Time server, and we might do that. But my biggest, I would have to like have admins, and maybe that would be like, I don't know how that would go, but like, I just worry because of my reputation and all of that. I just worry about the Discord getting infiltrated with just trolls and haters and stuff, because there's a lot of that on my YouTube comments, and I just don't want to see that migrate to the Discord. So that's why I never had a public channel over there. But, you know, for all I know, maybe nobody would go in there, so maybe it wouldn't fucking be a thing anyways. Anyway, moral story, yeah, I have one. Interstellar, I thought, was shot 65mm and printed 70mm too. I don't think so, but maybe. Let's check it out. I know it was quite large. I don't know. Oh, what do you know? Also a Hoyt film. Look at that. Maybe you're right, Jeff. Maybe Jeff is right. Oh, they went straight to 70mm. Yeah. They went straight to 70mm and then printed on film. Yeah. So yeah, I guess they did. I guess they beat Nope. A little bit different though. But you know what? I don't even think they had the 65, right? Did they have the digital 65mm when this was made? This was made in 2014. Yeah, Nope. It would be Nope for sure. Interstellar did have an MF feel to it. You get haters? Wow, YouTube is a strange place. Are you being sarcastic? No, dude. It's a thing of, well, it's a thing for me. I think I attract it though. I think I have a very interesting, I'm like one of those when you go down south and they have those blue lights that sit on the porch and it zaps the mosquitoes. I'm like that blue light. and ding it, and then all the trolls come and they get zapped up. They're like, ah. I'm not sure, but they just showed it down here in 70mm. Yeah, well, this says it definitely was shot on 70mm too. This one says it was shot on, well, just for some of the scenes. Notice how it says some scenes. Some of the scenes were shot on IMAX 70mm, but not all of them. But notice this, 220:1, 70mm prints. But then they also had another 239:1 version. Well, yeah, obviously you got to have both versions. So, yeah. So Interstellar definitely did it before Nope. So, I don't know. I barely remember this movie, honestly. It's just like, I barely remember it. It was so like, like this movie, I got a little lost, going from the bookshelf to space. I couldn't quite, I don't know what it is. There's some movies where my brain just goes, and I just start thinking about everything except what I'm watching. That happens a lot, actually. Like, that didn't happen on Sinners, though. I didn't really catch myself zoning out. Oh, this is Nope. I didn't really catch myself zoning out on Sinners as much as I usually do. But if the movie is like, I don't know. I maybe that's how I gauge if a movie is good. It's like, did I black out during it? Then yeah, I guess it was good. And I'm talking about sober blackout. I have sober blackouts all the time where my brain just like goes, and I'm just like thinking about anything other than what I'm watching. It happened a lot during Interstellar. I feel like it happened like during the whole movie. Like, I don't even remember anything about this movie, honestly. Granted, this was like 2014, so maybe that has something to do with it. But not that memorable. Not for this guy. Interstellar a few months ago-ish. I guess they're re-showing this down in Fort Lauderdale, huh? Damn, y'all are going to open up the archives down there. I guess you got to do something, to get your mind off the current state of affairs. It's like, well, let's open up the archives. Let's see if we can, let's have a good old fashioned confusing ass Christopher Nolan movie. So this is the crazy Meyer optic lens we were looking at. We didn't finish looking at this. This is like a slideshow though. What is this? This is hilarious. This lens test is like a funny ass, interesting lens test here. I was hoping to find like some flare. Well, he said it. Oh yeah. Well, it actually did. We saw some of the crazy rainbow flares it had. Let's watch one more. Coffee time. Shout out to whoever this person is. We just want to watch these Meyer optic lenses real quick. This is what we're doing before we got. Let's see. I'm over is tearing each other down. I'm over here watching the Chinese ride of space trains on TikTok. We got to start helping each other, bro. No time for haters. Yeah, I don't really hate on people. I just like speak my mind. I think people do think I'm a hater though. I think like people definitely have called me a troll and they've called me a hater. And I don't know, I guess. Is that what I am? Like, I don't feel like, it's like, dude, you can't even speak your mind anymore without people calling you a troll or something. It's crazy to me. It's like, really, dude? Like, I'm just like sharing an opinion over here. And where I come from, that's not being a hater. Like guys, if I wanted to really hate on people, I would do it. And I don't think, and then you would know. You would know what I'm talking about. You would know I was hating because it would be real hating. And I can do it easily. I can turn on the switch. But I don't have any desire to do that. But I just think it's crazy that people think what I do is hating, which it's not. And I think like, if you think what I do is hating, then you come from a very sheltered life. I'll just say that, which, you know, no shade. I mean, not meaning to make fun of you. This is one of the worst lens tests I've ever seen, by the way. Like, where's the test, dude? This is just like some weird ass, old ass footage of a guy making coffee. This is like the old fashioned Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, let's make coffee video. This is like the first one. This is where Peter McKinnon got his idea from. This old ass fucking shit, dude. I was looking for a lens test, not coffee time filmmaking practice. What the hell happened? Nobody has a good test of this Meyer optic lens. So disappointed in that. Yeah. Oh, you went down this rabbit hole 7 years ago? Trevor, send me, do you have anything saved? I would just love a video of the flares of those Meyer optics. Because they had like, the pictures that I was looking at, it looked just like these speed pancros. It was like super rainbowy and flary. Where is the speed pancro? Also, we should get a time count. This thing says I've only been on for 10 minutes. I know that's not true. How long has this been going now? How come I can't get a good time frame for this stuff? None of these screens have a timer. Oh, here it is. Oh my God, we almost hit the 2 hour mark. All right, so we're gonna try, I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about, and then we'll probably have to start winding down. Let's see, where is it? Now I lost it, the rainbow flare. The whole reason why I'm bringing all of this up, the whole reason why we started looking at lens tests is because I was really wanting to figure out what lenses they were using on the new season of The Last of Us. Because it's not the S4, I don't think it's the same. So the first season was using S4s, and I just don't believe that's the same lenses they're using on this season because the flares do not look like S4 flares. And let's see if they have a photo in here of what I'm talking about. Oh, so close. Wait. Oh, she didn't strike the lens. So in the newest episode, they're in the train station and they strike the lens. And dude, the flare is insane. It looks like spades. Yeah, see, it's not doing it. They're not like, you would just have to watch the episode to see it. There's no grabs of it in here. It just came out today. Man, what a bummer. None of these have it. Yeah, because she's not like directly hitting the lens in these grabs. Let's see, is this one? Nope, none of these. Damn it, man. Yeah, so anyways, they look like spades. Like when it hits the lens, instead of orbs, it looks like little spades, like little rainbow spades. It just caught my eye. I was like, that's unique. I've never seen that before. And then this guy had the S4s, and it's not doing the spades thing. That's all I'll say. But there was, how it got around to the Meyer optics is because we were looking at these speed pancros, and these got rainbow veiling flare like crazy. I've been on 11 minutes. Yeah, that's what it says. But that's not true. I've been on for like 2 hours. Yeah, 2 exactly. I watched Phillip Bloom for proper tests, although I don't think he does anything anymore. Yeah, and plus two, it's a YouTube. Like I don't want to pull up a YouTube video because then I'll just get flagged or whatever. So I don't want to do that. They were $700 at the time for the Meyer optic thing. Well, now they have a new one that. So there's the, okay, you'll see it in this. You'll see the Speed Pancro. Well, this is the 32 mil though. It probably won't do it as crazy as the 75 mil. Wait till you see the 75 mil, the veiling flare of this thing. So here it goes. That right there. It reminds me of like when you use crystals in front of the lens. Yeah. Anyways, so then I was pulling up pictures of my optics. I'll just see how much those are going for. I wouldn't get one, but I'm just curious how much it is for that Meyer optic. What was it, a 30 mil? Yeah, it was a 30 mil, right? 100, it's cheap. Holy shit, that thing is cheap, dude. That's the original too. That's an M42 mount. That's the real one. That's the real one right there. Wow, how many blades does that thing have? Let's pop that bitch open. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, that's a crazy way of a design. That's why it has that gnarly bokeh. How is it doing that? It's like 2 sets of blades in one? Or how does that even work? I've never seen that before. What the hell? That's why it has that crazy bokeh. That iris is insane. I've never seen anything like that. Oh, you started buying old Russian lenses instead. Damn, dude. Nah, dude, I'm not ready to go down that rabbit hole again. I'm good on that. This lens would be fun to play around with, though, huh? I've never seen iris look like that from behind. That's wild. Bloom has been pretty adamant lately. He's considering what to do because the views and money aren't there for YouTube reviews anymore for the amount of time he puts into them. 100% believe that. Yeah, and you know, Phillip Bloom, he's kind of cool, man. He's the real deal. So he's not going to do what a lot of other YouTubers do. You know what I mean? He's not just going to like play the game. That's something I'm mad respect about him. And honestly, it's probably because he's British. No joke. Like that's probably why he keeps it so real, man. Because he just has that. I really, that's why I respect that guy so much, man. Because he definitely doesn't hold back on huge brands that actually do sponsor him. And I've always had mad respect for that because that's, you know, that's what I do on a much smaller scale, you know, and like, yeah, so I totally get that. Yeah, he's crazy though. He's got a ton of views though. Doesn't he have like a shit ton of subscribers? But again, it's like I said in my video, you know, it's the subscriber count isn't going to get you what you need in the camera world. But still, he does have 270,000 subs. Holy shit, dude. He's got a big number, man. So, he, you know, you know, he's probably still doing pretty decent. But you know what I saw recently? We'll get into some quick YouTube talk. I saw recently where, like, it's not really... So, because TikTok fucking flipped the script so much, right? To where now I saw where it's not... They're not pushing the subscribe. Like, YouTube isn't trying to get you subscribers anymore. Like, and what I mean by that is the algorithm is no longer trying to get you subscribers. Like now, the whole platform, even YouTube, is pushing towards views. Like that's how people are getting watch time hours and monetized off of shorts alone. There's all these like new channels that started. Now Phillip Bloom's not in this obviously, but like there's all these new channels that only do shorts, and it's because that's the way the algorithm is feeding things. They're pushing shorts more than they're pushing long form video. Cause again, it's all because of fucking, you know, TikTok shit. Like everybody's trying to emulate TikTok, even YouTube at this point, right? So now it's like, but here's the catch-22 if you're a YouTuber, right? Let me just, yeah, we'll leave this on while I talk, I guess. Well, I was gonna say like, because like you need like, who really cares about subscriber count? The fucking brands, the deals, the sponsors, right? They're the only ones that care about subscriber count. So now all the YouTubers, the quote unquote content creators, that we're like in a huge pickle now, because now it's like, the algorithm isn't trying to get you subscribers anymore. The algorithm is just trying to get views, right? It's different. And I know, like, if you hear that, you go, what the fuck's the difference, dude? Like, people are going to subscribe, but it's not quite the same. Like, the algorithm used to be designed to, and this is what I mean, like, right? So before, like, if the algorithm noticed that they watched a certain kind of video, it would say, hey, this creator also has these types of videos, watch these. And it's more chaotic than that now, because that's kind of how TikTok is. TikTok's algorithm is kind of chaotic because TikTok isn't worried about getting these TikTokers followers. It's worried about getting these TikTokers views. So it's totally different. It's a totally different algorithm, right? The downside with it is, like, for YouTube relies very heavily on sponsored deals and things. And what do all those sponsors look at? The very first thing they look at? Subscriber count. And the shitty thing is, nowadays, because of these new algorithms, it's super hard to get more subscribers nowadays than it was like 5 or whatever, how many years ago. So that's just like a quick little, like, YouTube deep dive there for all of our content creators out there. Just something, this is something interesting. This is just, what did I do? Did I X out of that? Son of a gun, I did, didn't I? I X'd out of the damn thing. Anyways, it's all shorts. It's all portrait filmed. Yeah, 100%, dude. It's all going that way now. It's a bummer, man. It really is. It's hard too when you're in it, like when you're in it, and when you're in it, like me, I'm in it. And it's like, damn, I don't want to be in it anymore. It's like, I don't want to be in it anymore, but you're in it. So that's why I'm just kind of like trying to branch out and do different shit, like the live streams and just different shit, man, because it's like, well, if it doesn't matter anymore, then whatever, but we'll have I was thinking about doing my Sony FX6 rig build. I've been getting a lot of messages about that. It's a pretty decent build that we got going on now with the pilot that we just did. So it might be a cool watch. But again, it's like one of those weird things. It's like, if you don't own an FX6, would you even watch it? Maybe. Like, would you? Like, you're like thinking like, well, my camera isn't like that or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter about what kind of camera it is. So that shouldn't matter. Like, because like I've taken so many things from other rig builds that I've seen where it was a totally different camera system altogether, but either way, let's see. Yeah, his reviews were like an hour long and very detailed. Yeah, 100%. Phillip Bloom, 100%. I loved his, dude, when he, like, the cool thing about him, like, he did a breakdown of how to program your Sony camera for autofocus. And at the time, it was under a paywall on the Sony website. And then one day, he just had it on his YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, dude, that is boss mode, man. And it was completely free. And it was like a 2-part series. Like, each one's like 45 minutes long. And I thought that was really cool. I don't know. And he just like, you're watching, at the time, you had to watch it on Sony's website. And in the video, he's kind of like going ham on things he doesn't like about Sony's shit. And it's on Sony's website. And so it's like, damn, you got to respect the man for that. But also, I guess the flip side of that is like, man, maybe we should respect Sony a little bit for like not caring either. It's kind of cool. Like, I don't know. I've always respected the shit out of Phillip Bloom, just for his honesty. And yeah, you got to love that. And yeah, he's super detailed. His reviews were great, man. Yeah, 40 hours. It must have taken him 40 hours to shoot and edit those things. Probably. Because he's going to all different locations and stuff. It's pretty rad, man. For his channel size and the work he's putting in, he's looking for hundreds of thousands of views. Yeah, but that's unrealistic though. So like, and I know like, and that's what I was trying to say in my controversial video is like, that's unrealistic though. Like our niche in the entire YouTube universe, first of all, is very, very tiny. And second, it's like so saturated. And yet it's so tiny of a niche, you know what I mean? So to think that your videos that you're making about some camera, if you think that's going to get hundreds of thousands of views, I think that's the wrong way of going about it, because it's like, dude, no, man, like that's just so unrealistic. You know, like honestly, I got lucky with the FP video. Like that thing has like over 300,000 views. I just got lucky with that. And so many people like DM me saying like they've never seen a review like that and shit. But that's just because of my personality, right? A lot of people just watch my videos because of my personality. They're not really watching it. I would say it's like 50-50. You know, some people just want to be entertained or whatever. And then the other 50%, maybe they just came there for the actual info, and then they get thrown for a loop because it's me and I have this very kind of weird, unique way of presenting shit. So I just think it's a little unrealistic to expect like, because to me, I look at this, you know, he just did this video on the Typox and he's got 20,000 views. To me, that's good. Like for the niche that we are in, that is a good view count, right? To me, I'm like, dude, that's not bad, right? All of his videos are like that. Look, he's got 40,000 views on this. Again, so no shade to Phillip Bloom. I absolutely love Phillip Bloom. I respect the hell out of Phillip Bloom. But I think that if he actually is thinking that, again, you know, we're all just speculating. Maybe that's what he's thinking. He wants that many thousands of views. That's unrealistic to sit here and go, all of my review videos should have 100,000 views. That's so fucking unrealistic. You know, it just is. It just is. Because it's not that kind of a world. We're not in that kind of universe in the grand scheme of things. When you step back and go, fuck, I'm on YouTube, you know? Now, the downside to this is, and this is a testament to how shitty YouTube is. It's like, dude, if he has 270,000 subscribers, then realistically, every single one of his videos should have at least, what would that be? Like, well, he's almost there though, right? He's almost there because this video has 20,000 views and he has 270,000 subscribers. So that percentage rate is, that's pretty close, right? Isn't that true? Or would it be more? Because I'm just thinking of like, what would it be? Yeah, actually, that's pretty spot on. So actually, his numbers are pretty like, in my opinion, these are good numbers. Like his view count, his watch count is pretty damn good compared to his subscriber count, right? Because the retention rate is still there. The problem is if you compare it to smaller channels like mine is fucked. Mine's not there, right? This could be for multiple reasons, right? But just to give you an example here, I have 42,000 subscribers. That should theoretically mean that all of my videos should at least be getting 4,000 views. Well, we can't go by this because I keep my top ones at the top, right? So these are like these ones that I on the landing page. These are here because, you know, these ones performed very, very well. Right? But if we look at like the reality of what's going on over here, this video I put out 10 days ago only has 700 views, and I have 42.2 thousand subs. Something's not right here, right? And that's just YouTube's fault for not even pushing this video to my audience, right? So something doesn't add up here. Like my retention does not make any fucking sense at all, right? Because you should always be getting at least 10%. That's just the reality of what it should be. And that just doesn't exist on smaller channels. So in my opinion, Phillip Bloom should feel pretty grateful for the views that he had. He would probably like, you know, give his peace of mind to me for that. But honestly, like you have to look at these things realistically, you know? Anyways, I don't know how we got down that rabbit hole there. Let's see. Yeah. Shit. For his channel size, yeah. But as you see, it's in the tens of thousands, some mid, some low. Yeah. It's all shorts. It's all portrait filmed, 100%. Shorts for camera reviews are hard too. You got to kind of tailor your content to shorts as a camera reviewer for those shorts to be successful. Yeah, but I think that's even looking at it the wrong way too. So like, that's why you notice like my shorts have turned into like skateboarding shit, like just talking about camera news and then kind of like trolling companies a little bit. Like I kind of just use shorts as throwaways because literally YouTube has already revealed to us as creators that they're not pushing, like they're pushing shorts. They're already like the shorts are already a different audience, right? That's just, you can see that from your own analytics with mine anyways. Before I even got weird with the shorts, they were already being pushed toward a totally different audience than my normal long form videos. That again, this is YouTube's fault, right? They have created this divide within their own platform. Right? It's something they've done, like some dumbass shit, right? So it's like, so you almost can think of shorts as a completely sidecar channel, right? That's the way I started looking at it because that's just the reality of what it is. I think YouTube is still the best place to go for consistency and predictable if that's what you're trying to do. 100%. I think it's still one of the better platforms, certainly for what we do. Because if you go to TikTok or anywhere else, you're not going to get the same educational, informative advice that you would get from the YouTube land. And definitely YouTube still has a larger amount of more experienced professionals, in my opinion, too, you know. So yeah, YouTube will always reign supreme. Here's another thing too. YouTube will always reign supreme because they have the best monetization. They have, at the end of the day, like, there are a lot of the TikTokers that's their goal. They want to be able to carry that large TikTok following over to YouTube. So YouTube will always reign supreme just because their monetization is better. The downside is their algorithm isn't, the problem with all of them, none of them should have tried to do what TikTok was doing. Everyone should have just looked at TikTok and applauded them and been like, cool, they're doing what they're doing. But everybody wanted to do what they were doing. Nobody wants to stay in their own lane. Everybody, and this is the problem with society in general. So now we're going to get into me of my philosophizing ways. Like, my opinion of society in general is like, nobody will stay in their own lane. Nobody wants to stay true to them. You see what other people are doing. We as a society, we get excited, we get envious, we get, you know, jealous, whatever you want to call it. And then we go, well, I want to do what they're doing. I want to do what he's doing. He's doing better than me. They're doing better than our business. We need to do what they're doing. And it's just like, it wouldn't be, I just feel like what ends up happening is you end up what's happening now with YouTube with their shorts versus long form within their own platform. They're like cannibalizing their own system right now because they're trying to figure it out. And it's just hurting a lot of YouTubers, quite frankly, you know, in my opinion, right? I'm sure there's plenty of everyone has their own unique story or whatever. So take that as you may too. That's just my opinion on it. You know, I don't like the idea that everyone tried to do what TikTok did in terms of the, you know, their algorithm and shit. But that's how it was for him 10 years ago when it was way less saturated. Yeah, that's true. So that's why he thinks he needs, or I guess thinks is what he should be getting. Maybe so. Yeah. Predictable income is better on YouTube. There are people that actually make a living from these platforms. 100%. Now, don't get it twisted. There are certainly people out there making a lot of money off TikTok as well. But I do think it is way more lucrative on YouTube for sure. By the way, Justin, just for background, he made a post on Facebook a few months back discussing all this. And I got some of this from back and forth comments from him directly, huh? Wow. Interesting. He's very old school, you know. Yeah. Yeah, he's very old school, though, and he does come from a different school of thought. And honestly, you know, for a guy of where he's at, he could also just be looking at it like, hey, man, like straight up, he deserves better, you know, and I would agree with that, too. There could be a million things going through his mind, you know. I think for someone like him, something that he could have benefited from is doing what fucking Patrick O'Sullivan did, quite honestly. Patrick O'Sullivan created I mean, look, his website isn't even like set up good to go with like proper security, you know? So, I mean, like he's very old school, you know? Whereas you go to Wandering DP and he's built an empire out of his podcast to where now his Patreon is insanely huge. You know, you go to the Wandering DP podcast. So again, but that's the difference between like, what do you want to do? You know, like what are you trying to do? You know, so, you know, and I do feel for guys like Phillip Bloom because, you know, I would imagine he didn't set out to be like, I'm going to create an empire. You know, he didn't do that. You know, he doesn't have that kind of like Shane Hurlbut, you know, those guys. And this is what I was trying to say in my, I guess, controversial video. It's like people set out to do that, right? People set out to go, I'm going to make a fuck ton of money on YouTube, and this is how I'm going to do it. Guys like Shane Hurlbut. And Shane Hurlbut was how Patrick O'Sullivan learned how to do it, right? So they're like, because Shane Hurlbut was like mentoring Patrick, right? Patrick was in his like gold circle of whatever Shane's fucking school is, right? So don't get it twisted, man. Like there's people out there that are doing this as a business, right? Versus like guys like Phillip who, you know, he's a real dude, right? Like he's a real filmmaker. He's not setting out to be like, I'm going to make fucking tons of money on YouTube and all that. No, he didn't do that because if he had that mentality, he wouldn't be in this position that he's in today. You know what I'm saying? So, what is that? You know, in my opinion, I always fight for the real guy. You know, I am the blue collar guy. Like Phillip Bloom is my speed. Like this is the real talk. He's the real deal. The downside is like, yeah, how long is this sustainable? You know, it's like, damn, maybe you should start a fucking Patreon, a fucking podcast, like put up a paywall, you know, like this is why they do this shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. That's just my opinion on it. I know we're talking a lot of business shit a lot of people don't care about, but you know, this is the reality of it, you know? Yeah, if you want the big numbers for camera, you got to get on the new camera and lens review train, the gear that comes out every year. If you go after the gas heads, you can pull the big numbers. That is true. But, you know, honestly, I think Phillip is doing that. You know, I hate that, like, this has turned into, like, all about Phillip. But, like, I mean, just look at his videos. You know, he is doing that. I mean, he's got so much shit on here. Like, I don't even watch these videos. Like, he's reviewing literally everything. You know, like, I see him trying to do, like, the potato jet thing or, like, the Peter McKinnon thing. So he's already doing that. Like, he's already chasing gas. You know, no shade to him. No shit. You know, I'm just... You know, again, I'm stating the obvious here. If he wants to come for me, please don't do that, Phillip. I am a lover. I'm not a hater of you, dude. I am a huge fan of you. If he happens to see this or something, but I'm just literally just like stating the obvious. You know, I think he is like chasing the gear a little bit here. I mean, just look at his videos. You know, I just don't think it's the same for everyone. You know, it's just a reality of it. You know, it's like, but yeah, you are right about that. You do have to chase the gear a little bit. And that's how you get things like Crater that exist, you know, guys like Mondo that's building this fucking, just something I don't care for at all. You know, they're doing that kind of stuff, forming an alliance with the brands and the companies, and oh, good God, don't even get me going on all of that. For sure, you unfortunately have to chase the newest releases in the camera space. I never got one of your vid alerts until the live tonight. YouTube is awful. Yeah, see, exactly, dude. Like, it's so... Yeah, they don't care anymore. I started doing raw BTS vlogs of some shoots, but I wasn't getting many views, so I began uploading them across 6 different social platforms. Also, all my shorts are just old BMX clips. Hey, dude, that's rad, dude. My videos are getting views on Facebook, too. Yeah, because Facebook is pushing their shorts, too, now. Or what do they call it? They're called Reels over there, too. More views on Facebook. So, see, yeah, it's going to be so different for everyone. But, yeah, that's awesome, Stuart. Just whatever is performing the best for you, just keep pushing that. But I wouldn't stop cross-posting. You know, you just want to try to throw all the eggs out there and just see what happens. That's what I do anyways. I put them everywhere. I get no love on TikTok whatsoever, but I do randomly put random videos on YouTube, on TikTok, just to see what happens, you know. He should so do a podcast, man. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. Phillip should do a podcast. I think it would kill, because I think this dude has a way bigger fan base than he realizes, you know? And I think here's the thing about podcasts is that that's why people like live streams and shit, because it's the real thing. It's just real conversation. And, you know, there are other YouTubers out there trying to do it, but they're not entertaining, you know, in my opinion, you know, and I'm talking about very specific people in our camera world trying to do podcasts, and it's not cool. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. And they're dicks because they've said horrible things to their audience about me. And it's like, God, come on, you don't have anything better to do? Like, instead of like tell people that Justin Phillip doesn't deserve views. Like, they've said that on their podcast. I'm talking about Brandon Washington. He said that on his podcast, that I don't deserve any views. And it's all because of that fucking video I made. But it's like, really, dude, that's it's horseshit, you know? And that's what I'm talking about, the jerk off circles. So maybe we'll end there, because but yeah, 100%. Phillip Bloom should do a podcast. I should do a podcast too. I tried to do a podcast with Jacob Owens, because he said, hey, you want to do a podcast about the video I made? And I said, fuck yeah, I'll do a podcast. But I never heard from him again. So he probably got a little, I don't know, maybe he thought he couldn't control his temper, or maybe he got intimidated by me for whatever reason, or I don't know what happened. Maybe he just got too busy. But yeah, I think podcast, it's going to be hard again, because it's a camera niche thing. So it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. But for Phillip, I think he could take off. Especially, I think he has the right connections to where he could interview people that, you know, other people couldn't get on their podcast, quite honestly. You know, just thinking about professionals in the business, you know, 100%. Just wait, bro. Once Axnar gets released next month, I have a plan to rival the creator. Okay. All right. I always knew it. Justin was to be a Sony ambassador. Sign those brand deals, bro. You know, look, if they let me say whatever I want, like they let Phillip Bloom say whatever he wants, sign me up, dude. Because I love the FX6. They probably probably owe me a check anyways for as much stuff as I talk about the FX6. Sony shooters are red flags. Laugh aloud, I kid, but no, really. No, I've never, Sony have never once hit me up. Surprise, surprise. Never heard anything from them, and I talk about them all the time, and not always positive, but usually positive. I love the FX6. Everyone knows that. Anyways, okay, guys, pretty small crowd tonight, but I appreciate everyone that came in here. I'm at the 2-hour mark here on my end, and yeah, we're gonna call it. Trevor, hit me up about that. Let me know what we got to do with the Discord. I want to start doing the Dog Times Mystery Theater. I think it would be so funny, man. And it would be just more of a more entertaining live to jump into if you just randomly fall into it and start watching. Like this one was just kind of a shit show, but it's fine. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about Dehancer. We talked about Sinners. Go see Sinners, guys. If you haven't seen it, on your way out, please hit the like button, and people will be able to find this after they were in here. Yes, dude. Thank you, Faustian. Thank you for everyone dropping in. Guys, we will see you in the next one. That is it for now.